This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Looking back on the past where we still had a chance. We were pawns in a game that we could not win.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm St.
That's
Brian.
a lie. You did.
See, he sees everything.
I see
The
all.
Don't
camera
start the-
is actually in the
Don't
room.
start the show off with a lie. No, I don't care.
It says Dungeon Master. I see everything. No, hi. Guys, it is, welcome. Thank you for joining us. It is Sunday. It is 4 p.m. Eastern, which means it is time for shameless merchandising. No. Well, yeah, kind of.
It's shameless.
It is. There's going to be
Listen,
some
see,
shameless
we have-
merchandising today.
We have our delightful books, which I should probably get.
Yeah,
since
everyone,
we're all
let's see.
Doing this. Hang on, I'm hooked to my chair.
Hang on, we got everyone. Oh, and we got the DM screen. We got some green flame pins
Ooh.
here.
Wait, where the hell's my pin?
I actually don't know where my pin went.
My pin's sitting back on my
it's-
lanyard.
It's somewhere.
This
Mine
one?
is right
Aha!
there.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Merchandising.
So merchandising, but we should offer a very hearty, congratulations to the crew at Penny Arcade for putting this together. It is awesome. It is beautiful. For all the artists who contributed, you guys did amazing work. And we are going to be putting some of this stuff into play because there's so much good stuff in there. But
Well-
hey, what?
Well, the funniest thing is like I feel like that, like even in the absence of this book, we've adhered quite closely to the dictates of the CEO. You know, I feel as if like, oh, well, this actually makes a lot of sense, even though we didn't know what we were doing. And you know, sometimes the ignorance is bliss.
Listen, most CEOs are sociopaths. So if you behave like a sociopath, you're behaving like a CEO. So there we go, right?
I mean,
That's...
surely I should be running a Fortune 500.
Well, instead of that, we're going to run a Dungeons and Dragons game. I am St. Brian, your dungeon master for this evening. We have our full complements of franchisees of Team X, an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated, operating out of Pinedale with exclusive rights to the Pinedale region. And we're going to start with our sometimes dungeon mistress, who usurped my chair for a couple of weeks, but I have overthrown her and taken it back.
Usurped by mutual agreement. We're gonna call it an usurpation.
We're going to start with our hidden clues.
I'm gonna firstly share that I did roll for my random bee stinger name, child, and I'm now Dulg Yabbit Bee Stinger.
Oh, noted.
So yeah, in case you want, there's a table in here to roll for your random child name, and that is mine.
That is excellent.
But for today, I'm Clues. I'm playing Dread My Gemweaver, Taker Dome Extraordinaire. Who's next to me? A Viking. A
Oh,
Viking
yeah.
next to
You know,
me.
we've been doing this for like a year and a half now, and
I know.
And you're still surprised.
You
Yeah.
never get it right.
I'm just
It's
assuming. I'm just
it's
assuming.
like firing a handgun. You just let it surprise you every time.
I'm just assuming this is in character for him. Like, oh yeah, that's me.
it's a step for me to get into character.
Me.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Viking Goat, and I'm playing Cynic General Trunk. Very nice nature domain cleric who also is basically a humanoid capybara.
he's piece shaped.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
Although
continuing.
I think those werewolves would disagree.
Oh,
They probably would be like, actually, no.
he brings them peace.
There was a
grave.
there was a distinct lack of peace.
But no. It ended in almost perfect peace.
Well, we don't know what their afterlife is like, do we?
That's a
It
good
could be
point.
unceasing agony, which, you know, fuck them. And on that note,
Yeah.
I'm playing human fighter Hugon Valander, and he has probably just had one of the best days of his retirement ever. Drenmai wasn't around. He got to go to an extraordinarily high quality weapons establishment and basically play dress up. He got to carve into werewolves and not feel guilty about it. It was generally
A cathartic
great
day.
day.
It was a cathartic day.
it was good.
All around good, Hugon.
Just like a 24 hours of vacation. It was fantastic.
There was never that issue of I'm killing this person because I have to, but I have feelings about
No.
it. It was no.
And
Listen,
even then, let's be honest. There's like a 1 on the Richter scale there at the best of times.
Is that a Von Richter scale?
Oh, oh,
Callback.
oh.
Mm. Ooh.
And with that, I send it
With that.
to Ross.
And I am Roz, also sometimes known as Purple Monkey Robots, and I am playing Eno, the Tiefling Bard, and this bard's got horns. I don't know, whatever that
But
means.
not the metal kind,
Yeah.
like the bone kind.
Oh,
Yeah, the actual horns.
Actual
Actual
horns.
Oh,
horns,
yeah.
not like
Tiefling.
But it doesn't mean he's not metal.
Yeah, he's metal as fuck.
he's metal AF. No,
You
we're
could.
talking
I
about,
mean,
like,
think about it, you could get like armor fashioned for those horns.
Yeah, right now he just wears a hoodie.
So, when we last left our heroes, a few things had happened. After they had returned from the Shadow Monastery, then they realized, oh crap, we have to go back to the Shadow Monastery to well, there's a couple missions that had to happen there. One was retrieve the book that was left there by accident. Let's say the blame could be shared equally between Thunuk and Eno. It was one of those, hey, you've got the keys, and everyone thought you were asking, as opposed to, just miscommunication. It happens. So Eno and Drenmai went back to not only retrieve the book, but also replace the dragon egg that Drenmai had
and our
consumed.
boy Buck.
And that's right, and Buck. You had to go retrieve their big round boy Buck, where they discovered that a group led by a man known as Haverford West, leading a group known as the Resplendent Travelers, had been taking credit for the exploits of Team X in their absence when they were in the Shadowfell. But once that mission was achieved, they were waiting for Thunuk to open the gate again, and Thunuk got a little distracted. He was distracted, one, because he met a new friend down in the depths below Pinedale, where he brought his new Warforged friend up into the town square to rest. And they also Thunuk and Hugon found their sleep disrupted by a werewolf who had claimed his first victim. They tracked and confronted. Well, Thunuk remembered to open the gate while Hugon did some shopping and in the weapons store, and opened the gate. Drenmai had gotten bored of waiting and fell asleep, and so was basically taken back through. And Thunuk has her packed away in his pack of many things. The little shield. He looks like kind of like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle with the Meanlock shield strapped to his back. And all through this, Drenmai, because as we know, Drenmai has a tendency to work until her body just says, nope, it is sleep time. It's kind of like going a Windows update. It doesn't matter. It's happening, and you're doing nothing until this update is over. And so Drenmai remained completely undisturbed and asleep during the course of Thunuk, Eno, and Hugon tracking down this werewolf. And attempting and successfully, I'd say they were successful in their endeavor for stopping this werewolf in a rare triple kill. It was all three of you. Remember that was
okay.
Oh.
I was like, wait, we didn't kill 3. We killed
no,
1.
all
No, I
three of
understand.
you
I understand.
had like this ultimate like team maneuver of trip / bash dead, and
Good.
it was good. But they determined there was more than one werewolf, and that the other werewolf had escaped and howled off into the night where and raised the howls of other werewolves further off in the Chandlewood. So that was determined that there are...
Probably good that I was asleep. I would have probably tried to acquire a puppy.
They said the exact same thing. That is
That's
exactly...
legitimately one of the arguments that Hugon made to not wake you.
That is
She's
exactly...
probably going to try to make friends with it or think it's a rideable creature.
Yeah, a new mount. Puppy!
No.
No. So that is where we last left our heroes. Would this be a case of where after what would the after action be? Now that we ended our, hold on. Of course, I'm using a microphone, so every loud thing must drive by my house. As soon as I shut this microphone off, it'll be dead silent out there.
It does sound like werewolves that have like a throat condition.
Or
Yeah.
perhaps werewolves that are also rockabillys.
Well, listen, in modern times, as we all know, werewolves are bikers. I mean, that's just
I mean, it's the aesthetic.
it is. You know, it works with
I'm okay with that.
the roving pack, as shown in True Blood, right? It's
What?
yeah. Didn't they all? I think they all. Oh, anyways.
Oh, I've never watched it, so I don't know.
Never watched it, so I don't know.
The only thing I know is Bill.
Bill.
And
That's
just like the constant refrain of Bill fucking things up and like people asking him not.
no. It's Bill fucking things up and Bill fucking things. That's basically the plot
That
of the
sounds like a
entire
bunch
show.
of vampires to me.
It's how much sex can we fit into a show without it actually being porno? Oh, hang on, he's got to come back.
Without it being on HBO.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In any case, to answer your question,
Yeah. What would the
Yeah.
after action be? So we've got. We forgot it. We forgot a major point here. Is
Oh.
that once the werewolf was slain, it reverted back to its human forms, or its human form, as werewolves are wont to do. And the human form was that of Eloborn. It was the member of the Watch, one of the members of the Watch, who had gone missing, and that Team X had rescued back in season 1, and had been convalescing in the clinic / chapel / house of worship area. So it turns out he was one of the werewolves, now dead. The ghost has left. The ghost has left the shell.
well, I think the first thing to do is to drag the body to Captain Case.
Just drag it. Just hook onto
I
the
mean,
end.
I'm not going to carry it.
I'm not touching it.
I mean, I'm going to touch it, but I'm going to drag it. It's a thing. Everything that made it a person is now not there, so we're dragging it. Or I'm dragging it.
I'd get out my rope out of my bag and tie it to its feet or something, and then we could like drag it together if you want.
Sure, no, I think that's reasonable.
A bonding activity.
Once you guys start doing that, Thunuk's going to point something out, and it's you guys that I think people might be alarmed if we start dragging dead bodies to the street.
I don't particularly care.
Okay.
They're all asleep or they're all indoors where they belong.
Hugon's got a reputation to uphold.
This is very true.
But-
It's about the
Intimidation.
It's also
Ah,
gonna-
dead body.
It's
Oh,
about the
Always be branding.
It's also going to make a mess. I mean, we could ask for like a bag, maybe.
That would require a sack large enough to fit a person in, which may not be abnormal for you. But for us, we don't put adults in bags, usually.
Usually is
But,
the key word here.
Okay. Usually.
You have more.
Hmm?
You have more to say?
Oh no, I have an adult in a bag. I guess it's not usual. She's right in there.
She's also this big. And he like
Yep.
does like an approximation.
But she's still an adult, I guess.
I
Right?
guess.
Yeah.
Technically.
And like I picture this as like we were dragging the body and we've stopped to converse, and so like it's just in the middle of the street as we're like, you know what? No,
Some of the guardsmen like come walking by, but they are very pointedly not making eye contact.
As they know better. They know better.
There's like a glance over, like, don't ask,
Nope,
don't
that's
ask,
it.
don't want to know, no.
Nope, we're not doing
As,
this.
as they see you having this conversation over this dead body, and there's like a glance at the dead body, like a double take, like, oh shit, don't ask.
Above our pay grade.
It's just.
This is Case's problem. So yeah, we drag this son of a bitch across the paving stones and to Captain Case.
So he has set up a kind of like mini waypoint headquarters, not headquarters, but communication
Like a
center.
station.
Yeah, more like he stationed himself in the town square, right by Grimoire.
Okay.
Just so that way it's an easy point for people to find, and just to say this is so basically so everyone would know where to find him. So that way he, rather than him patrolling, he's basically, you can see he's filtering communication to the various patrols as they're coming in. The sound of battle had rung through the streets, so you see a few more lights on in town than usual. People had been awoken by the sound of 3 people fighting 2 werewolves. So you could hear as you approach, he was giving instructions to the watch of basically for the watch to keep a safe perimeter around the battle area, trying to maintain that there's no civilians. Like you can see, there's on the other side like in the square, there's like some sleepy-eyed members of town who were evacuated out of their homes.
Some neighborhood association member is like, this is a violation of the ordinance.
There's the one. You've got the one, right? Like the well, no, you can't do that. You gotta give people a fair warning before you. Captain Case is trying to settle him down. Most of the people are just kind of like
Well, it's
half
good that
asleep.
Captain Case is doing that.
Yeah, he's trying to be as politic as possible, explaining that, listen, this was for everyone's safety. It's not this isn't punitive. We didn't want anyone getting hurt. We know that in situations like this, listen, magic gets thrown around. The battle we had to make sure that everyone was safe. And the guy's still trying to well, no, and try. It's just some crotchety old guy.
Is this happening as we walk up?
Yeah.
Okay,
And this guy is one that you've come to know. At least we'll say if Dren were awake, she would know this guy. He's kind of like the guy in town who's always a stinker about everything. It doesn't matter what it was that happened. He's got a problem with it, and he has an opinion about it.
He's a rules lawyer.
Yes. Yes. And even when you're right, even when you could say, hey, this is the thing. Well, actually, this is the blah, 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 blah.
So it's drag the body directly to Captain Case,
Mm-hmm.
and then drop the body, and then Case, what's this? Why? And he just kind of gestures to the conversation.
And he's just like, it's Gregory. It's Gregory.
Right,
And
well-
Gregory's like, no, I've got to. He's like, Gregory, just.
Captain, I don't want to impose, but you can solve this problem, or I can solve this problem.
And he just looks
But
like.
he is to be indoors immediately.
Well, so there is a group of villagers that are outside, that were evacuated from their homes in
Right.
your immediate vicinity, and he just looks at Case looks at you, and he looks down, and he goes, "Is the problem solved for the moment?"
For the moment, but that's not guaranteed.
And he turns to Gregory and he goes, "Go home." Yeah, but he goes, "Go home. You don't want him to solve this for you. Go home. I will talk to you in the morning. We will get coffee. I will take all the time you need to explain yourself. We will deal with this tomorrow. Go home." And you can see there's just sort of like this. He's got. Captain Case is kind of like the Gregory Whisperer. Where
Right.
finally he's able to get him to calm down and and just
Please
tomorrow
shut
morning.
up. Please shut up.
And it gets him to walk out. And it probably doesn't help that there's these narrow, tiny pinpricks of hate flame coming from behind this mask.
I can't imagine that is an assistance of any sort.
Because this mask, the way in my head canon, and I guess because I'm the DM, my head canon kind of counts for something. But everyone has
The
their
only
own.
time it does,
And-
the only time in life where headcanon means shit is when you are the dungeon master.
It's like there's like these pinpricks of like burning, smoldering red light from inside, but it's also the voice has like this almost deeper metallic reverb to it coming from behind, and it's not like it's muffled. It's not like "so go home." It's more like it's more like Transformer like, where it's kind of got this weird metallic reverb
Yeah.
to it.
I was going to think, like, if anyone remembers Stargate, when someone's
Oh.
talking from inside one of those helmets,
Yes.
it basically sounds like metallic demon god.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so Hugon's register, the voice of his voice goes lower, like an octave lower, and it's got like this metallic reverb, so it's kind of like, you need to leave, RoboCop in a way, with that kind,
The area is not safe.
So Gregory, hitches up his like night shirt thing, and he's got his slippers on, he's got the nightcap, and he's touches up, and he walks home on his these pale chicken legs, and not actual chicken legs, because as I say that, I realize that this could it's D&D. Why does he have the legs of a chicken?
Slay him.
So yeah, he so he walks away, and he's like, so there seems to be a story here.
Well, we woke up, and then we had to go and meet you, and you said there's a thing, and we found out the thing was a werewolf. And then I remember that we had to go get the others, and I forgot about that. So I went and got the others. And while we were doing that, Hugon was looking at the magic weapons, and then we got magic weapons. And I have this new staff, and then we went. I don't remember what we did.
Then we
Oh.
walked.
Yes, we walked. And the rats said that there were things that were big and furry and mean, which we thought was a werewolf. And a lot of rats died. This was tragic. I know it's horrible when a neighbor passes away.
And like Hugon is looking around like, what the actual hell is this conversation? Did I step into a dream?
And while Phoenix telling the story, Case is like pulling some of the soldiers over, like some of the watch members over, and he's like keeping an ear out for the story, but he's like quietly direct. Okay, you can start take these people home. Please escort them to their homes. He's like, oh yeah, keep going. No, yeah, absolutely. Rats, yeah.
That's what the
Fantastic
second
story.
one-
Continue, please, while I work.
Dren, give me a Constitution check.
They died for the greater good, Thunuk.
And
We'll
now
have to
that's
tell the
fewer
families.
rats, so that is the greater good.
They'll make more rats.
18.
You
Well-
awaken. But you awake 18. You awaken. You awaken inside. You're cramped. It's very dark.
I drooled.
There's always the drool, but you go to wipe it, and you're like, there's not a lot of place to move around. Like your ankle's kind of up by your elbow, and you're sure there's
Everything smells
there-
like mulch.
there
This is
there.
a Thunuk-sized backpack, so she's probably like in fetal position, cozy.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, but it's still. I mean, but things had
Stuff is
things
in there, though.
things shifted around during the battle.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you were
We all
had
just settled to the bottom.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're like, and there's definitely a mossy, earthy smell going on here, like like wet, freshly dug dirt.
Okay.
Kind
I've
of like
woken up in worse places.
and pots and pans. So you're kind of like, you're kind of like there's like I think there might be like a pan jabbing into your ribs, because
Yeah.
this is basically Thunuk's everything. He just kind of keeps.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's even some leftovers in there somewhere. If you find it, you're free to it.
I probably would root around because, like, immediately waking up, Like,
Root like some sort of
Oh,
ground animal.
give me
Like,
give me an investigation check.
investigation. What is my investigation?
You find a hallucinogenic mushroom.
Why am I so investigating? Oh, 21.
Oh shit. Okay,
Damn.
so now give me a d6.
D6 hallucinogenic mushrooms. Fuck yeah.
6. Fuck, I'm rolling great.
Oh, okay. So you find, as you're rooting around, you find that some kind of like oats, grain type rice dried material, what appears to be a little bit of chocolate.
I'm sorry. Have you made a table for what's in Thunuk's backpack?
In this case, yes. And it's all kind of like glommed together in this almost like bar-like form. You think there might be some like
no.
whey.
Oh.
You think there might be some some.
It's like a suet bar.
It's a granola bar.
It's
but-
a granola bar with chocolate bits.
Like-
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's kind of all You're not sure that was the intention of when this came in there, but they've
All I
all
can
kind of
picture
glommed
is-
together.
Semi-rancid brick of suet.
It
that
smells,
has, like,
smells okay. You're not, nothing,
Oh.
nothing truly.
Like what
Awful.
you would put in a bird feeder. And it's not
when
on
you
purpose.
hate
It's
hate
like-
birds.
It's like packed into like the corner of this bag on accident.
It's the dregs from various suet bars I've just like packed into the corner.
And they sort of fell down to the bottom, and they've all conglomerated into like this, Thunuk protein bar type situation. And so as you,
I hate it. I hate it.
so as you find this, if you decide to nosh on it, that's your own choice.
Oh
But
yeah, totally not on it.
and
This is mystery food.
Join the Rhine.
and you can hear Thunuk telling this story. You can hear you heard Gregory as you woke up. You kind of woke up to the sound of Gregory.
Mm.
Okay. Like Gregory has on more than one occasion complained about the noise coming from your shop, even when there was no cause for it. It was like even like there's times where it's like legit. Hey, Dren's shop can get a little noisy, right?
It's like 2 in the goddamn morning. Shut up.
But and there's times, but there's other times where there's really not, because sometimes there's very fine tinkering happening where it's a lot of like small screws, and there's times where he's come over and he's complained about he like finds reasons to complain.
Yeah, he's a complainer.
Like your windows are dirty. Why don't you clean your windows? Like that's like that kind
Why
of
don't
thing.
you die, Greg? How about that?
It's security.
Why don't you grow old and die?
Rozzie's not on a leash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you leash your
Rozzy made in his azaleas again. Rozzy made
Except
a boom
for
boom.
Rozzy, like it's like an oil slick, just like all over the rose bushes.
Extremely flammable toxic waste, basically.
Like, oh Jesus!
Sometimes it's like odd shape and hex nuts, you know.
Yeah.
And
Perfectly
every time it's like
octagonal.
you don't know it was him, and he just puts like a bag of like dirty, like oily, like odd shape and hex
oil nuts and
Ka-dunk.
bolts.
And it's like in a sack. It's like seeping through the sack and on the. It's like that
Okay,
doesn't-
maybe it was him.
that doesn't prove anything.
How do I know you didn't put
But
oil
maybe
and
also that you should
stuff in
leave.
your yard? Yeah. Meh.
So you kind of that's what kind of started you waking up, was like that
Okay.
voice, and then you're hearing Thunuk starting to tell the story about the werewolves, and all that. And now Thunuk, give me a perception check.
Oh,
You're someone who's eating my granola bar sense is tingling.
Oh, I forgot my perception has such a bonus to it. It is 16.
You feel you're aware of something squirming around and moving around in your pack.
Do I recognize that it is a Dren-sized?
Well, okay, here's the question. Are there other animals in there?
Maybe.
Give me a d20.
A squirrel starts chewing on the other end of my granola bar. Nah.
11.
You little
He is
asshole.
playing a tramp situation.
Animal table.
Hang on. We're going to see what's in there. And 11 is in there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, that couldn't fit in there.
Hippopotamus.
Dren,
One badger.
as you're eating, something slithers past you, and you feel
okay.
a little in your ear.
Knock it off. Eating.
Little nip at your ear. Oh, pfft.
I told you. Knock it off.
And now you're hearing this from the backpack. You're all hearing this from the backpack.
And a sigh that lasts longer than humanly possible from Hugon.
Hang on. Let's see here. What's your AC?
Mine?
No.
Mine?
Yeah.
15.
Something grabs your wrist and starts wrapping and constricting around your arm that has the granola bar. That has your protein bar.
Your protein bar?
I found it. It's mine. I licked it.
That is classic Dren.
Mine.
I'm placed among other people's property. Mine.
She didn't ask to go in there.
It mine. I'll grab it and try to yank it off my hand.
Hang on. You're gonna grapple this thing? Hang on.
Yes, I am.
I grapple
let's
the evolutionarily adapted grappler.
Okay. So this will be a contested strength deal here.
I am strong AF.
This is
Strength
true.
is actually my second highest. That's a 15 on strength.
No, does not beat the constricting snake.
I curse at it.
You're sitting there, but it's sitting there like it's starting to work its way around your arm.
Do I have any I don't know if I have any animal handling bullshit. Hold on.
So Thunic, now it's actually getting to the point where the bag's like starting to like jerk back and forth. Like you feel Eno and Hugon, you can hear all this coming around, you can hear like this scuffle, like, no, it's mine, and
Hugon is like, Thunuk, go stand over there and handle that.
Okay, I'll do that.
So it's on my one hand, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna take my other hand. I'm gonna cast Shocking Grasp and put it on its head.
Okay. Remind me of the mechanics of Shocking Grasp.
I cast lightning from my hand to whatever creature that I touch,
Okay.
and I have to make a melee spell attack against
Okay.
this target. And
You
I
can
have
melt-
advantage if it's wearing armor, or it has metal.
It
Is
is-
it a metal snake?
It is not a metal snake, no.
It's not armored.
It is not armored, no.
Also, it's attached to you.
So
Electricity doesn't care.
I'm
Like,
conductive.
You're gonna melt your chocolate bar.
and also
Possibly.
yourself.
Possibly. I doubt it would be the first
Also,
time.
what if that
Dream's been
snake
shocked.
is Thunuk's friend?
Shouldn't have gone after my granola bar.
It's not your fucking granola bar. God
I
damn
imagine
it.
this is happening like through the backpack.
Yeah.
It's an 18 to
and,
attack.
and 18 hits.
And it's gonna do 7 lightning damage.
Okay. So the snake immediately lets go of your hand, but actually constricts more around your hand because it just, the lightning actually makes it like jerk.
Yeah,
But you also take 7 lightning damage.
that's fine.
Worth
it.
Thunic, you take 4 lightning damage to like right around your ass area, like lower back,
Ow!
because it conducts through like all the pots and pans and everything right in it. Bah! It's more like like a really good static shock.
Everyone else sees Thunuk leap into the air a little bit and yelp and grab his ass. And then he hurriedly takes his backpack off and opens the top of it. It's like, what are you guys doing in there?
I'm trying to take my granola bar.
But that's emergency food. You're not supposed to eat that.
I just had a little, and I grab the snake and I hold it up like head
So there's
first.
the granola bar, chocolate melting all over the hands because
Yes.
the electricity, because that kind of fried it. This thing is, it just
It's been they
Brown.
arc welded the granola bar.
it's Yeah, you got this. The chocolate is just dripping down. Um, Meanwhile, there's a snake that's kind of like constricted like around her arm, like this boa constrictor looking deal. You know, deep green with the black diamonds on it, and it just.
Mhm. You had this in here, by the way.
I know. He's a friend. That's that's Bartholomew. He basically helps out, and keeps out mice and rats who aren't supposed to be in there, because I keep food in there.
Actually, this is not a bad
Bartholomew
plan.
tells I'm not a mouse, and it throws it somewhere in the backpack.
Bart, are you okay? Okay, how's
Bartholomew has suffered immensely, readers.
Bartholomew's looking at you like, and like,
I'm sorry, I'll never do that again.
It's not your. Never mind.
Bartholomew releases, and like slithers back into the bag, but on his way down, the tail, the very end of the tail goes right across Dren's face, gives her a quick slap. Settles
Fair enough.
settles
I shocked
back
him.
down.
It's fair.
She's like, yeah. I mean,
I tried to murder you. I guess that's the least that you could do.
Fair enough. Meh. I'll clamber out of the backpack. Kind of like fall over.
now there's dirt all over your granola bar.
Yeah, it's okay. Extra minerals.
Clinic looks at the sky and sort of like tries to guess the time. Is like, good morning ish.
Yes.
So we are you familiar with werewolves?
Sure. Why? What happened?
We may be surrounded by werewolves. Maybe. Or kobolds, I'm not sure.
That's the name of my band.
Werewolves or kobolds, I'm
No,
not sure.
surrounded by werewolves. That's,
Surrounded by kobolds.
I'm gonna look around and do I see any werewolves?
you see no werewolves.
Okay, I like where?
Oh, they're outside the city walls.
Oh, okay, that far out.
But there might be some in town too. We don't know. We fought a werewolf, or we fought two werewolves.
Good job. What'd you do with it?
Well, it turned back into a person when it died.
And the
Is
meat
it pointed?
and the meat sack is just sitting there. You know, this
It's
lifeless
not even
corpse.
a sack. It's just a pile of limp person.
It's very very dead. The stabbed through several times with various sharp and pointy objects. The neck is pulverized. There are no more vertebrae in the neck. Because the final blow to this thing, in addition to being stabbed several times and slashed, and it was while Thunic was also grappling it. So basically, Thunic put it into a full Nelson, and Hugon and Eno took turns punching it in the gut with stabby things.
Fair enough.
And then the final the coup de grace on this was Hugon hamstringing it falling to the ground, Eno stabbing it through the heart at the same time that Thunic bashed it over the head with a staff that has enormous, like almost like grapefruit sized iron covered in mithril, and he hit it with a natural 20, if I remember correctly, which kind of pulverized the vertebrae. So the head's just not hanging on properly. You've seen dead bodies. You've all seen
Yeah.
dead bodies.
Right.
And there's a certain way that even the basic human anatomy works. It's not working in this case. It's just like the head's almost on backwards. It's yeah. But you do recognize it as one of the watch members, formerly known as Eleborn.
What are we doing with it?
Should we
Burn it.
bury them?
Mm. Does anyone know what god they worshipped?
Dren's already starting to gather sticks.
I don't especially think it matters for us here on the material plane.
Well, I mean, last rites and all that, and
Well,
and
right, but
burial
it's
rules
difficult
and-
to come back as a zombie or anything if you've been burnt.
Did they have family in Pinedale?
Captain Case says, I don't believe he did. No. not to my
This is an easy
knowledge.
solution.
Piling sticks.
Is there an undertaker?
And certainly we can find one, but it looks like Dredmai and now I'm trying to think. Now I'm going to take a second out of this to say, how would Captain Case refer to Hugon? Because I don't think he'd be. Would they be on like?
I don't know if Captain Case is a part of or under any sort of auspices of, like, the command structure that Hugon is building here.
No.
I think he's his own individual,
Yeah.
and I think that however Captain Case chooses to refer to Hugon just sort of has to deal with, because
Right. Okay.
Captain Case is essentially his liaison to the council.
Mm-hmm.
Or the,
Yeah.
Hugon have introduced himself as by his rank, whether it were in Acquisitions Incorporated or his former rank from the military.
he would not have done former rank, I don't think, but he probably would have, like, if he had thought of it, he might have mentioned his Acquisitions Incorporated rank.
Okay. So, as to respond to you, he says, excuse me. He says that, well, it appears that Dren and your intriguist have a certain plan in mind for the body, which I don't.
Stack of sticks is as high as Dren now.
Where are you getting these sticks?
You just see her like wander off, and then come back with like an armload. You're not sure where.
Some of them might look like they were, at one point they might have been shutters on a house.
Yeah, they might be boards to some. They might be siding.
Bringing steps from people's stoops and just
Clappered,
There's an arm from a chair.
Look, funeral pyre. Totally
It's all
respectful.
found material.
Found.
I'm
Found.
recycling.
I found it attached to
I
this
like it,
chair.
It's mine. Rip off of this.
Thunika's actually going to isn't there an actual place where you take care of dead bodies here in town? Towns
That
usually have
costs money.
Well, I don't know about that. Okay.
It does.
No, I mean, I don't know
Oh.
that.
And Case says, we do have there's an undertaker we could go to for this. But I've never particularly dealt with werewolves before, other than the most basic of knowledge. And I would, for one, feel safer if we eliminated the corpse.
Fire!
Not in the middle of the town square.
Yeah, it
big
seems
enough.
like there needs to be a designated funeral pyre
Right. I mean, like,
location.
or like the dump. Wherever it's not going to draw attention and wherever it's not going to be a problem.
Also, these houses are made of wood. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this in the training yard? Keep this away from prying eyes.
Yeah. Seems like a good idea.
So he calls over 2 watch members to pick up the corpse. They put a drape over it. They would basically put a cloak over it just for some form of dignity, and pick up the corpse, and they start huffing it over to the to the training yard. He looks at this pile of sticks and he says, "Should we all just grab some of this, or?"
Help me. Starts walking over to the training yard.
Excuse me.
I suppose.
So you guys make your way over to the training yard, where they're able to build a more formal funeral pyre. Lay the corpse on top of it. Case, says kind of like a silent prayer over Ellaborn. And then he turns to you, Dren, and basically points to you to do the honors.
I'm gonna do it in like the most fancy way possible, and I'm
That
gonna
was a bad
firebolt.
idea, Case.
we're firebolting it, absolutely. Like the light gleams, grabs the lantern, dee 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 dee, fire!
And from deep within the lamp, it's like just beam of fire lances out of it. The
While she's doing that, I'm playing a song.
little funeral dirge.
Wait, no, I'm just kidding.
Sounds remarkably like AC/DC on acoustic. And the pyre takes. Eventually, the body is consumed in flame. And Case turn. There's a moment. There's an appropriate moment of silence and reverence for the proceedings, and he turns to you, Hugon, and he says, "Did I hear more of them out there?"
You did.
Do we need to worry about it? What should we do tonight? It didn't sound like they were in town.
I think we scared one of them away. And I think that it's probably going to come back. And I think that it will be a problem. And so I think that probably we should...
Hold on. We should...
Unmute is what we should do.
Yeah, we lost you.
I must
we
have
go.
hit a hotkey or some kind. I think the...
You're pushing
Uh-oh.
button.
He pushed a button.
Weird.
This is what happens when you go through a Windows 10 update. right
Windows
before-
update. Yeah, it's horrible.
Dren keeps randomly cast silence on Hugon.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a long couple of days because I don't know if what we scared off was the pack leader or just somebody who was hunting. But the fact that there are two in town not trying to kill each other and not fighting over territory suggests that we've got more than one and possibly a pack.
Hmm.
So it's going to be kind of a shitty week for all of us, I think. There's
Awesome.
going to be a lot of lost sleep, probably a lot of overtime.
No, there's that.
Training will continue.
Okay.
Maybe we need to talk to the sommelier and borrow some more weapons for the guard.
I like that idea.
use.
I like that idea so much that we're going to do it.
He says, okay. I'll meet with the council in the morning and bring them up to speed.
I'll be there as well.
Okay. Well then, I guess we'll keep the patrols up for the evening. And we'll set up we'll concentrate the patrols more towards the town border to prevent any incursions.
And I know that you know this, but I'm just going to say it out loud so that it was said out loud. No single guards. No. Only groups.
Mhm.
Only groups. Well lit. I don't want people getting picked off. It's a lot of paperwork.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's back.
And she's back. Well, now, hang on. I got to rearrange everything now. Because
Oh,
you
yeah,
were
I was the
all...
last to come in.
You are in the wrong places.
Well,
I wanna
she
be
could
Hugon.
Plymouth right now.
Am I Hugon?
You,
No, you cannot be. No,
you were.
no.
I was.
I was Hugon for a moment.
You are
there.
not allowed to be Hugo.
I was myself the
I-
whole time.
Pick the go, Dad.
Myself was the friend I made the whole time.
The ultimate changeling Khan. I was myself the whole time.
Ha. And I got away for it because it was some stupid kids looking for me, and they don't know shit. He goes, okay, so he agrees, and and he pulls some more of the guards over and starts, setting up the patrols and redeploying them. So what's your guys' plan here?
Hugon's
Hugon's
already awake, so he's gonna stay up. And probably pick a unit to patrol with, or patrol with a couple of different units.
Mm-hmm.
Eno is going to use prestidigitation to clean up the blood trail that was left by the corpse being dragged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to,
I'll just
It's probably
yeah.
not a bad idea. We don't want Gregory getting all up in a tizzy about it.
yeah, I'd like to keep the discord to a minimum among the town folk.
Well, yeah, that's got to be a little disconcerting to find,
Well,
massive
I mean,
amounts
a
of
little
blood.
fear is useful, but maybe too much fear a bad thing.
What time of the evening is it? Or night or morning?
It's definitely morning. You're probably looking at the equivalent of around 4 a.m. So you figure it's only a couple hours till sunrise.
Doug's gonna make breakfast. He's gonna he figures all these people are gonna be marching around doing stuff all night. He's going to the kitchen as probably, or the mess hall. It's connected to the training area,
Mm-hmm.
and just make gigantic portions of everything so people have hearty food.
Out of what?
Gigantic Thanook portions or
This is-
gigantic
no.
people portions?
Portions, fine, but like,
We've got two very important questions that need to be addressed
what
here.
are you making?
Uh,
And out of what?
to answer the first question, Thunuk didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, and it's been a very active evening, so he's going to probably forget that his portions are not the same as other people's portions. So he's going to make Thunuk portions. What is in the kitchen? Probably what's there. Salt, meat, hardtack, gruel. He's probably going to whip up something
There's cornmeal.
very similar to a friend of mine. She used to call it a Shanghainese breakfast. So it's congee, gruels type stuff, roasted meats, seared and sautéed vegetables, just stuff that's going to stick to your bone and keep you going.
Mm.
That you can put in a bowl and eat.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you'll get a bowl, the ladle full of slop in it, and then you'll go down the line and put whatever you want in it. And someone's going to say, well, you didn't put enough of this. You're going to have some of this. There's probably going to be some ham hock stew or something like that.
Well, you got to have ham. There's got to be
Yeah.
some form of. Dren, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go up to Hugon and be like, "Can I help?"
Do what?
I don't know. You're patrolling, aren't you?
No,
No.
you can help someone else.
I go.
You
to
can help on the other
Thanook.
side of town.
I've already left. I've gone to
No.
Thanook.
Okay.
I'll go help with the food stuff.
It was
Good.
the
Yes.
asking, hoping you would say no, but as long as you asked, you couldn't be held liable for not asking.
Exactly. It's the thought that counts. That
Mhm.
I was helping, or I was going to help with the knowledge that I didn't have to.
And to be fair, he's probably, yeah, you asked to help, and offer refused, and away you go. Everybody's happy.
That way, you can never claim that Drenmai never offered to help.
Also, it's no fun when Dren's around because it's too easy. She kills things too quickly.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, what?
No,
Oh, okay.
I puke too much.
Just kill everything. It's like, no, you gotta give me a second.
Thing.
You gotta give everyone else a turn.
Hit something.
Um. So okay. So how we're gonna come to Eno's cleanup crew in a second here because I think this is gonna be fun. But Drenmai, how would you go about helping Thunuk with this? I always like it when Thunuk and Drenmai cook together.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be using like a lower version firebolt to keep things like cooking going, and let's see, what else could I do? I could have Razi like do like his little mini fire breaths to like sear any kind of food. This
Oh, there you
'cause
go.
He can do his little sparky breath, so he can get that nice, good like charcoal to it, and yeah.
I have this thought that like every time Thunuk seasons it, Drenmai is probably tasting it and go, nah, it needs more. It's that situation where everyone walks by and says, oh, it needs salt. Oh, it needs salt. Oh, it needs salt. You know, just assuming that the other person didn't.
Exactly. We're gonna keep adding spices until it's like I don't know what it is, but cool.
So Eno, you're using your prestidigitation to clean the blood from the streets.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I have my lute out, and I'm kind of slowly walking down the street, and I'm playing like a song, and like every time I cast the spell, it cleans like a cubic foot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's slow going, but he's playing a song, and he's slowly walking down this blood trail, and behind him there's no blood trail. So he just keeps, and he's like he starts going werewolves in Pinedale.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Werewolves in Pinedale. Ooh, werewolves in Pinedale. And he's just drumming. He just keeps going, ooh. Werewolves in Pinedale. That's what he's doing.
Good.
Werewolves in Pinedale.
It's fantastic, even.
And so, the commotion. Well, one, I mean, it is, we're talking about people that generally wake up around sunup. It's not, people generally don't sleep until 8 a.m. in the morning, in this world. And the people were already kind of up already from the commotion from the night before, or from a few hours before. And so you find that behind you, you've started to attract a group of potato scouts who have come out with like some like little brooms and brushes, and they're kind of sweeping up kind of like behind you a little bit, just to kind of like smooth everything back down from the prestidigitation, from removing the blood. And they're starting to sing along with you. And they like it when you get to the chorus. That's their favorite part.
Saw a furbog with a half elf and menu in his hand.
and they're like going around, and like they're finding like blood spots for you, and they're putting out like, Mr. Eno, like doing one of those, like, oh, I found one. Like, this is how they're helping, right? It's like they don't know what to do about the blood. So they're just like, oh, Mr. Eno, and they're pointing out. So they're helping you find like the other splatters, and and they're completely undisturbed by it, because for them, they don't know what that is. It's more like oh, cool, it's completely abstract for them. They're not associating the two. They're not putting together that all of this blood came from someone who was killed the night before. Uh-oh, we lost clues again.
Are they even recognizing it as blood, I wonder?
I don't know. Hang on, let me do... Oh, there, did you get back in the right spot? Yay!
Good. Yeah. I was about to say, just keep going, because...
Eno's kind of like the Pied Piper of Pinedale right now.
Mm-hmm. Except he's not trying to steal the children.
Really funny.
Yeah.
He's just, cleaning up. He's cleaning up the mess. Because cleanliness right next to godliness. So, Drenmai and Thonik, you guys have cooked this massive kettle of something stuff.
Well, the kettle itself is basically just gruel,
Mm-hmm.
but like we've probably been like roasting up some hams and sautéing vegetables and making little bread things and
All right, so
we
give me.
think we've made something like that we each think we've probably made a spicy sauce
Mhm.
like a spicy oil to toss in there for like flavoring, but
Yeah.
each one of us has thought we've added the spices.
Ah, okay. So
I'm
let's
guessing.
let's do this first. So first we have to roast the vegetables. So, Drenmai, give me a skill challenge. Let's see a D20. So yeah, so we're gonna go for a D20. You have to hit. You have to hit 15.
Does this count as a
Okay.
downtime activity?
Sure.
I'm
it
just
could-
referencing the book.
Hang on.
I'm
Let
kidding.
us-
I'm just kidding.
No. Let us check.
Thing?
Let's see.
Since it's vegetables, can I add my nature bonus?
Yeah, I will allow you to add your nature bonus to that. So you have hang on before you roll.
Okay, cool. Because that would suck.
We could do one of two ways here. You could
Okay.
try to hit a target of 15, right?
Okay.
In either case, you're both are gonna have to hit 3 successes. You have to do to prepare this meal. You have to. You can either do a 15 or you could attempt to hit an 18 and then confer advantage to the next person.
I'll do normal for now because I just rolled garbage.
Okay. So this is going to be the process of preparing the meal. So
Yeah.
step 1 is going to be actually prepping the ingredients. So you'll roll and you'll explain to me what it is that you're doing to help do this.
Oh, we lost her again.
Oh, no, she's frozen in time.
The ingredient she adds is time.
The ingredient she has is patience, and no, she only adds frozen ingredients. What? Nothing? Okay.
I mean, like, what do you want? Like, my soul is barren now from that.
You know what? That's everything I could have hoped from that
You've
particular
wiped
interaction.
clean the slate of all
I have
human emotion.
I have scoured it of all
with
the
a
little
Brillo
bumps.
pad on my soul,
It is smooth.
worn.
I have taken it to the soul bench grinder, and hogged away all of those excess things.
Got rid of those burrs.
those burrs and those little imperfections.
Hey,
And
right.
she's back.
And she's
I
back.
got 18.
Okay, she got an 18.
18.
Texting you.
All right. So describe to me what you do in this situation here.
I'm doing the vegetables, right?
You we'll say we're starting with the vegetables. The gruel is cooking away.
Okay. Doing the chop. And then I'm gonna have Razi on my shoulder while I'm doing the chop, like as it comes off, and he's frying them like as I'm shoving it off.
Okay. So you're getting through and you're able to chop up all the vegetables and you're sliding it off to the side. Thunik, you have the next step here of prep.
Making batter for not a scallion pancake because that's too specific, but something like a scallion pancake.
Okay. And then are you going to go for the 15 or are you going to try to hit the 18 and confer advantage to Dren?
Just go for the 15. It's okay.
I'm gonna go for the 15.
At least build a foundation of success.
Yes, let's go
Yes.
for the 15. Wait, did you go for the 18 or did you go for the 15?
I went for the 15, but I rolled an 18.
Oh, okay.
What is
Right.
a scallion pancake?
All right, so you see these at Chinese restaurants, dim sum places, or
I
like
know-
Shanghainese things.
Say no more. I
Okay.
know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
They're very, very
I
nice.
didn't know they were scallion pancakes. I thought they had a different.
Am I doing a bonus to this? A skill bonuses?
if you can give me a good justification why one of your skills or your proficiency bonus would apply. Are you proficient in any skill that would be akin to cooking?
We have actually
Dexterity.
established dexterity. bad idea.
Okay, never mind.
We have actually established that since Thunuk mixes medicinal ideas into his cooking, his medicine
Ooh.
is part of it.
Ah.
Because
true.
food is not only good for the soul,
Using his
it's good
medicine
for the
idea.
body.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay.
The complete package.
The complete package, and he gets a +7, so 17.
Ah. Okay. So we have success.
We have a strong foundation.
So you've made your batter now for your this nice. It's the right consistency. It's not. It has not been overworked.
Excellent.
Because it's good. It's got all the. It's the proper content, the proper consistency. So now we have to go on to prepping, or not prepping, to actually cooking the meal here. So we're back to Drenmai. How is it that you would like to cook this meal?
I'm thinking.
And Hugon, give me a perception check.
It is a 13. Ryan?
You smell something, and it's good.
So not a werewolf.
Not a werewolf. No, you did, because werewolves do not smell good.
Fair
I
enough,
can't imagine.
fair enough.
I imagine a werewolf always smells like a wet dog for some reason. Just
All werewolves are soggy.
I think I will try
well, the transformation is a moist process, so
to magic the cooking of it. So I'll
Ooh.
use my fire magic
mm-hmm.
to do proper cooking. So
Okay.
then I can hopefully use my Arcana bonus.
Okay. So are you? Is this the lantern, or is this you? What are we? Give me
This will
a little more. Give me a little more.
I want to use my my scorching ray because I can have it kind of more exact,
Ooh.
and I can probably adjust temperatures more appropriately so it doesn't burn.
Okay. I will allow an Arcana bonus for that. I can see like
Yes.
Drenmai like fiddling and like dialing in on the lantern.
we're since we're like searing stuff, I want it to be good. No,
Was it not good? Was it the
That's it.
opposite?
that's 8. And that's a +6 Arcana.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's undercooked.
It's undercooked. Well, fortunately, it's vegetables, so it's really hard to undercook vegetables. As far as like it's not like undercooking chicken.
And I pre-seared the vegetables.
Yeah, so they've got a nice sear, but it probably is what interfered. You weren't able. So they're very al dente at this point. They're probably crunchier than they should be.
Yeah.
Which, depending on the person who's eating, might be a good thing.
Some of them are a little probably overly charred. You probably have
Some
like a
people
mixed.
might like texture.
You have a mixed bag here. You've got some that are
Yep.
overcooked, some that are undercooked. Thunuk.
Next step for the pancakes is frying them. And it basically is just like dropping a little bit of batter onto a pan with oil on it.
Mm-hmm. So would this be a
So-
dexterity or?
Yeah, I guess. All right.
I believe in you, but
At
not
least one
really.
of us does. Yeah, it's a 6.
It's too much.
It's
way
it's
too
one of
much.
those where you're like, careful. Oh God, no! Oh, it won't stop coming out. And it's like one of the things.
Oh, why am I still holding it
But no,
like
it's
this?
but it happens where it's like so. Okay, at the restaurant where I work, we have a cheese dispenser for like hot cheese for like dipping French fries into.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone doesn't clean it properly, it sticks. And it's one of those things where it goes from like barely it's like barely dripping to open all the way. And if it's a new bag, it pours out, right? And this is all if someone doesn't clean it. So it goes from one of those things where it's like if all of a sudden it goes in, you never let the pressure off in enough time because there's this moment of panic where it's like, oh God, and cheese is just getting everywhere. So it turns out that while you're able to get them, it turns out to be like one of those Pinterest nailed it things where you're trying for these really small ones, but you end up with like kind of like a large one that
It takes up the pan.
it takes up the pan. And because of that, it's not cooking 100% the right way. It's getting a
Get
little
like a
over,
cookie cutter and like make shapes.
but
and
it's
then,
it's
like,
getting a little
peel it out
overdone
nice.
on the outside without the inside. I mean, it's not raw,
Hmm.
but
Well, it's going into oil,
mhm,
like frying oil.
yeah.
Like just that much frying oil.
So flipping
So-
this bad boy is gonna. So you're like trying to flip this thing, and
It's impossible.
Making a goddamn mess.
yeah, it's a mess. There is batter all over the front of you. It's in your beard.
There's probably also like burning hot grease everywhere else.
There's
guessing.
grease has gotten everywhere. Rozzy has like some batter that's splattered on his face. He's like kind of trying to shake most of it off, and he's sitting there
Well,
trying.
I mean, like no one gives a shit about him.
So now we have to. Now that you guys have cooked it, now we have to plate it. You have to
Oh.
get everything prepared.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is basically like mess line, so it's just going to be like piles and piles of food, and I guess we have to make sure.
But the trick is transporting it from where you're cooking it to the actual table where it's being.
Ooh.
So Drenmai,
Let's see. We're trying to get it over there.
Hmm.
I don't have any like convenient, easy way.
Hugon, give me another perception check. And Eno, give me a perception check.
Seven.
12.
Hugon, you know you're on patrol. You haven't seen anything. You're probably a little distracted because you're trying to put all the battle plans and defense plans into place.
Right.
So it's more that you're trying to be a presence out there.
Of course.
You also do continue to smell what does still smell relatively good. You feel something wafting up from the kitchens of the keep, and there is definitely a gurgle in your stomach, because as you know, an army travels on its stomach.
And werewolf killing is hungry work.
It is hungry work. And
Is it
no,
not only hungry but hungry work?
Hungry.
'Cause that's a level. That's a level.
Hangry work. Hangry work.
hangry
Oh.
work.
Ooh.
Oh, Eno, you heard what you thought might have been howls in the distance, further away than you heard them the previous night, as you're doing your cleaning crew here. But you also,
Howling in the wind or just the wind?
yeah,
howling?
but you're not sure. Could it be that you're hearing things just because you're like kind of hyper alert for it? So it's one of those things, when you're hyper alert for something, everything sounds like the thing you're trying to hear. Is it that your mind is conflating the howling of the wind through the trees, or did you truly hear something? But regardless, it does sound like it's further away than it was before. You just can't quite. There's doubt in your mind as to exactly what you heard. Drenmai. So what is your plan here?
I think I'm just going to use me to get them out. Are we plating or are we getting it out to the tables?
This is your call here. This is your show.
Okay.
I mean, it's our show, but this particular thing, metaphorically, is your show.
Then since I'm not going to be good at either, I'm going to do a final flavor touch on it.
Ooh.
And I'm going to use prestidigitation because I guess in prestidigitation you can flavor something
Mhm.
for up to an hour. So as long as it's eaten within the
Really?
hour,
No, is that actually part of it?
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah, dude.
Chilled warm
Really?
flavor.
Yeah. Prestidigitation is pretty wild.
I did not know that was a part of that spell.
I just read it and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna flavor stuff.
We used to do that. My aunt, who played an arcane trickster in 3.5, used to break into nobles' houses and flavor their food like shit. with
Yeah.
Prestidigitation.
I didn't know it was a thing. I
Because she
guess I
hated
never
them.
read enough.
Okay, so yeah, what is the flavor profile you're aiming for here?
I think I'm gonna add in like a garlic salt because garlic
Mm.
makes everything better.
Garlic makes everything better.
You are not wrong.
I'm gonna be like, okay, we're getting all of it, and I'm gonna do the garlickiness to
Okay,
it.
give me. Let's. Okay, so what kind of skill check do you want to do on this?
It's I'm doing magic, so I can still use my plus.
Okay.
my
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. It would be an Arcana bonus. Yep.
Come on, that 15 on the dot.
Okay. So
Okay.
because while garlic makes everything better, it is absolutely possible to put too much garlic into something.
Yes.
Lies. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Heresy, sir. Let's calm down. Too much garlic?
There's a
I
thing
straight
called,
up eat roasted garlic.
I eat
That's-
raw garlic.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no! I've
Yeah.
done.
There's a
I've
thing called 40 clove
Good.
garlic chicken. There are
Yeah.
40 cloves in it. There is no such thing as too much garlic.
That's
No,
a
but here's-
sufficient amount of garlic.
Here's the difference, though. As you cook garlic like that, it actually sweetens and it mellows the flavor. So it is possible. Because I've done a thing where you take an onion. We're gonna digress for just a second. I've taken an onion. You carve the center out. You stuff it with as many whole garlic cloves as you can. You wrap it up and you throw it in a grill, or I've actually thrown it into just charcoal embers, and you cook it for about 20 minutes to a half hour so it's soft. And then you can actually eat the garlic raw because all the flavor is essentially cooked out of it, but the acid is cooked out of the onion, and the onion now tastes like an apple.
It's amazing.
A garlicky
also,
apple.
I would probably scrape that on bread. That sounds fantastic.
Mhm.
Well, listen, there are things we might need to make for the drowning courtier. So, anyways, this is and it's easy to do. So anyway, okay, but you're able to get the right amount, the exact right amount of garlic into this meal. But now
I'm so pleased.
it still needs to make its way from the kitchens out to the actual mess hall area. And Thunuk, this has fallen upon you, our mighty
Sounds-
capybara boy, the
Sounds
railgun cleric.
It's starting to sound like. And in this corner,
And in this corner,
The railgun cleric,
capybara.
Thunuk, the railgun cleric, capybara, gentle trunk,
The friend-shaped priest of nature.
weighing in at 600 pounds.
hey, now that's twice as much as he actually
Oh,
weighs.
really? Okay, 300.
He's
Well, listen, it's
like
all metal.
330 or something
He's-
like that. I
he's a
can't
big
remember
boy.
right now.
He's scrawny.
Yeah, that's gonna say that's a
He needs some more. He needs
Young.
more
that's
food.
10 foot. That's wiry.
He's young.
He need more meat on the bone.
He's lived a very impoverished life.
Well,
So
now he's got shitloads of money if he wants it.
he probably doesn't know what to do with it, honestly.
Okay, well,
Anyway,
buying food is definitely what we're gonna teach him.
It's a teaching moment.
I can see this being a strength check because you got to carry this stuff. Because I don't want it to be an athletics check.
Because I'm really bad at that.
So,
Well, why not? Well, because I'm bad.
Very bad.
so
Oh,
is this where he's trying to pile it all in, or are you trying to like load it onto something and carry it?
He's carrying it like
Get like a cart and you just put it on there, and then you can like a la carte serve it.
oh.
That way, it's all on one thing, and you can strength like the thing.
That sounds reasonable. Would he think about that though? We're talking about Thunuk here.
Well, Dren is there.
Yeah, I'd probably suggest it if I see
Yeah.
like a way for you to be able to do it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like putting it on like a cart.
And this probably isn't like a
Food.
serving cart. This is probably like this is the cart that we use to haul crap around the building.
It's a wheelbarrow or something,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like one of those moving carts you get at U-Haul. for
Yeah.
moving-
For him, this is to him size. This is like dessert, anything from the dessert cart sort of thing. But for everyone else, it's like that's what we put the pig iron on.
yeah. It's like a fucking flatbed cart
Yeah.
and just wheeling it out there.
So he's gonna wheel out. He's gonna lift the giant pot of gruel and put it on there, and he's gonna lift the other things on there.
Mhm.
He's basically gonna find a small table to put these things on it as well.
Okay.
So he has like a layer of things going on there.
Okay. So yeah, strength check.
Okay. Let me just adjust my headphones.
And Eno, as you're out doing your cleaning, the kids always have a very finely attuned sense of smell when they're hungry. And you notice that they're all starting to kind of perk up. And they're all going, Mr. Eno, what is that? What's that smell?
Well, that would be the smell of some
Victory.
potentially fine cooking. Why don't you see if your Spud Master needs any help in the kitchen?
And a couple of them go scurrying off, while the rest of them are still trying to help you clean. And
Okay.
they've actually taken now to cleaning up litter as well. They're actually like taking it as like almost
Yeah.
like it's now it's become like a community effort, a community cleanup effort, where in addition to the blood, they're finding all sorts of other things of trash. And some of them are like bringing you like, look what I found, look what I found this, I found this scrap of paper, I found this.
And he's like, "Yeah, just put it in the bag, And so, how long has it been since the fight took place? Like, has it been over an hour?
Yeah, I think it's been over an hour. Yeah,
All right. So yeah, any temporary hit points that were had are gone now.
they've melted away. You feel
Yeah.
as you were feeling pretty good before, and then it's kind of like, oh, I'm kind of feeling normal now.
Yeah.
Normal kind of sucks compared to how that other thing was.
And so, and he would say,
It's like when Bugs Bunny when the super carrot wears off.
and he would say, "All right, kids, I need to concentrate for a minute. So just keep it down." And I think he would just kind of stop and try to sort of tune himself into the sounds,
Mm-hmm.
and he would try to listen again to see if he heard, if he could confirm that those howls were still far away, or if it was a different sound, or if he could hear anything different now.
Let us do another perception check.
Yeah. And I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna give myself bardic inspiration for this roll. So I'm gonna add a D8.
Okay. Well, you kind of composed a new song along the way, so that could be like, hey, you know what?
Yeah. So as I was kind of singing that let's see, that's oh, that's nice. That's 23.
Okay. So you take a moment, and there's actually like this Zen practice where the goal of this one version of Zen meditation is to open your senses up to like everything, like open your hearing up to everything, as opposed to just focusing on one sound, which is what we typically do, and try to and just let yourself be open to all of the sound all at once. And as you do that, you can barely hear on the edge of the wind what sounds to be snarls, and you hear the snarls similar to the werewolves, but there's also something else there, almost like a laughing sound along with it, with these snarls. But they're very far in the distance, like barely on the edge of the ability for you to pick up anything. As you're able to hear the leaves blowing in the wind, you're hearing the river as it rushes past. You're hearing the creak of the trees. You're hearing all the sounds of the town as it begins to wake up. But just on the edge of this wind is where you hear this sound. These sounds. And you can tell it's not near town. It's not like it's like, oh, it's right here. If the wind weren't blowing in this direction, you probably would not be able to hear where this was coming from. But you can tell there is something out there in the woods.
Okay.
So Thunuk, strength check on moving breakfast.
I rolled a 17.
Ah,
Well done.
well done. So you're able to load up the the keg, not the keg, the kettle. Thank you.
The pallet jack of food.
You basically got a pallet jack of food and you're pushing it out, and as you're rolling it out, there's a bump between the kitchen and the mess hall, and as it goes over, and you know these things, we've all had this happen, right? As you're pushing one of these moving sled things, and whatever step it hits that, and it just all of the force and vibration just gets forced into whatever's on top, and whatever, no matter how securely you had it, it like starts to vibrate off. But two potato scouts quick appear almost out of nowhere, and they kind of help like push it up. Like, we got him, Mr. Thunick, and they help you move the stuff out into the mess hall and get it onto the table.
He's got his own little ninja army going on, doesn't he?
They're very hard to spot because they're wearing essentially like these potato sack ghillie suits.
Yeah.
That blend into just about everything, and they're kids, and kids can be sneaky. Let's face it.
That's true. I think they're inherently sneaky.
They are. Listen, if you ask clues, a silent child is a deadly child, is a dangerous child.
If things
When
are
you
quiet,
don't-
you know something's wrong.
When you don't hear noise, you know something has gone wrong.
Mhm.
Kids and dogs, when you can't hear them and they're not sleeping,
They're up to something.
they're up to something. So they're able to help you get all that plated, and then they the one turns and goes, Mr. Thunick, can we have some?
Sure. And he gets out what he thinks is a child-sized bowl,
Mm-hmm.
but it's probably like it's an adult bowl or serving bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and he ladles up some for the kids and like sits them down at a table.
And the one like yells out the door, as somehow kids are able to do. There's like this. Somehow the message is relayed very, very quickly. Where it's kind of like as soon as the ice cream truck gets onto the street, you don't even have to hear it. The kids all know it. Somehow it's been communicated. And we're getting the slow nod again from Clues, where it's like, yep. They know when there's free good stuff, when there's free dessert or something like that. And all of a sudden the kids, all of a sudden you can see they're starting to run towards the keep, and the one tugs and he goes, Mr. Eno, we can get food now.
So Eno kind of calls out, says, "Thanks for helping with the cleanup effort," and he looks down at the one and he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna take a nap first."
You're not gonna come? No, you gotta come eat with us.
I'll be there. I just have to. Maybe I'll take a nap later.
Get a nap
This
later.
is
Come
okay.
on, let's get breakfast with us.
All right, I'll. And then so he's like getting dragged by the kid to the.
I don't wanna.
It's like, okay, fine.
Well, your stomach's grumbling because, as we have previously established, as canon,
Yeah.
werewolf fighting is hungry work. And you got to feed that furnace.
True.
So Hugon, it's getting to be almost time for morning muster. As you've been patrolling, you're starting to hear rumors, but you're hearing people talk about how there's breakfast for the soldiers, or for the watch breakfast, and you can see like the potato scouts are starting to run over to the keep. Or do you join them?
He'll head that direction, but like he'll probably be the last to arrive.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got werewolves in his city,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a problem. And so he's kind of reticent to go do other things.
Yeah. But I would imagine Hugon would still think, got to take care of the food
Oh,
first.
he wants food. Yeah.
Fuel. Food is
Yeah.
fuel.
Food.
So as you come down, and actually, Drenmai and Thuna, give me one last D20 roll, but this is going to be a performance check.
Oh.
A
I
performance
get
skill
nothing
check.
for that. That's a 5.
5.
8.
8. So, Eno and Hugon, as you guys make your way into the mess hall, which is it's like one of the lower floors. It's not on the main floor of the keep. It's actually like one floor below, because generally the kitchens aren't going to be on the main floor as well. They're going to keep them lower to help keep the temperature down, through geothermal cooling. Actually, the deeper you go, the cooler it is generally, or it stays warmer in the winter. So they so you go down to this mess hall, and it's all like, very rustic wooden benches and long tables, and you can see there's already the watch members that are about to show up for training. They're starting to already get down there to eat. There's ones that are coming off patrol that are getting down there to eat. The ones that are about to leave for patrol, they've already kind of gotten their stuff and ready to go. And there's this spread at the head of it, and there's Thunic and Drenmai serving out bowlfuls of this gruel and vegetables and ham, and Razi's kind of helping with like kind of like Razi's using a wing to slice through the meat and put it on the people's plates and everything. And it's not necessarily, it's not a pretty presentation. It is a very utilitarian presentation, but it's very clear what you have there.
Hugon would approve.
Yes. Food is fuel.
If Dren is involved, there's no level of approval that Hugon can experience.
Fair enough.
Now here's the question: did you guys spice the food directly, or is it like a separate sauce that people can add to it?
I know on mine I spiced it directly, and the garlic was directly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did made an oil that goes to the side.
Ah.
You can-
So Eno and Hugon, do you partake of the oil to help season? He's like, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think I would add a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hugon will taste it first, and if there is a 1 to 10 scale, where does it fall?
Give me a constitution check, because I always feel like that's really subjective, right? Like I can eat not habaneros. I can eat jalapenos straight, but you give it to someone else and it's like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever.
That is a 14.
A 14. This is spicy, just on the edge of what you would be able to tolerate. Like, if it were just a little more, or if you were to put too much on there, you could see where this would be like
Right.
a little bit.
So yeah, definitely applying it to the food for sure, but in the appropriate amount.
Yeah.
Sure.
Again, not uncommon that, you're going to get the most bland food possible when you're like on an active campaign. So it's, you find whatever, like,
Listen, that's what that bottle of Cholula is for in the bag.
So, you guys take your seats. And you're able to essentially break bread with all the, the potato scouts are sitting there. A couple of them are like daring each other to try the hot sauce. Some of them are like doing like, flipping out. Some of the, I say soldiers, some of the watch members are like encouraging them a little bit. It's generally, despite the night's previous events, this is probably what everyone needed. This is probably exactly what they needed: a warm meal in their stomach, a little camaraderie, but everyone is having a very pleasant breakfast, and they are ready to start their day. But we're going to start our day in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe a few minutes, because we've reached the midpoint of our game, and we're going to take the briefest of breaks. So that way, if we need to fulfill any of our needs, we can do that. And then we'll be back in just a few minutes with more Team X and Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll be right back.
That's what we've been playing this whole time.
Oh, yeah. But no Dungeons and no Dragons.
No, it's Cooking Brigade, damn it.
I thought.
It's what we turn it into every time, but it's okay. This is why it's Eat, Drink, Roll. We'll be back in just a few minutes, guys, so stay tuned.
Yep.
roll-ups if you want it.
Cheesy roll-ups.
You want a cheesy roll-up?
We're hi guys. We're finding out what the
Food.
food break time tacos and mini humans.
I mean, I don't think mini humans are food, but
Right. These are a separate category of objects. There's a mini human in
Okay.
adjacency to food,
According to
and also
Thunic,
tacos.
according to Thunic Gentletrunk, you can eat anything.
At least
Heck.
once.
I always say
Technically-
I'm gonna eat the baby, and he's no, eat normal food.
I'm gonna eat your baby.
I eat the baby.
So anyway, aside from tacos and cannibalism, we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. Where we last left our heroes, they were eating breakfast after a tough night of slaying werewolves, patrolling the town, cleaning up the blood, and preparing for the coming day. And whilst eating breakfast, one of the potato scouts scampers in with a note, and he comes scampering up to Thunic, navigating his way. And if we're gonna use our little cinematic view here, it's like if you can imagine like the over the shoulder shot of the kid, with the parchment in his hand, running all the way through town, entering into the keep, going
I've
into
got
the
a golden ticket.
and navigating his way through the mess hall, like diving, like around, like all like the grown-up legs, like ducking underneath, dodging from being stepped on, because it's one of the littler ones. It's one of your littler spuds. One of your smaller scouts. We haven't established rank yet, right? So, but
We
I
need a
guess
ranking system for these potatoes.
yeah, we do. So it would
like
be.
tater tot. It's a tater tot.
It is one of your tater tots.
Tater tot.
yeah, okay. I like it.
So you've got like tater tot, spud,
Mhm.
tuber
Well,
scout,
Spudling. Yeah.
spudling, spud
Small
scout,
fry.
small
Hang
fry,
on.
tuber.
Well, hold on. What about starting with eye? Like the potato's eyes?
That feels like the spy organization within.
Because that's exactly what it is.
Well, should that then be the superior rank?
No, I think it's like a separate rank, like internal, like it's kind of like within
That's
all
like
the
the
ranks.
ninja group.
There's like
It's off
the
the
eye
side.
of there's the eye of the potato.
There is in the Scouts in North America, or at least in the USA, an organization within Scouts that is an honors/secret society.
Really?
There is. You're not supposed to talk about what happens in it or anything like that, but it's basically just yeah, you're not supposed to.
That sounds like a recipe for child abuse. Don't tell anyone about what happens here.
I mean, legitimately it does. But
So-
He just completed his first year of Cub Scouts, so I'll let you know.
Yes, let us know if he joins any secret societies.
I'm the kind of asshole who's like, oh, secret societies, I would like to join, and then I will like
And
put
learn-
out all their
Learn your secrets and then
and
tell everyone.
distribute them.
I was in it. Nobody told me it was secret. I'm just like, we did this stuff and then we do this things. I'm like, you're not supposed to tell people about that. What do you mean? I'm
So
telling
you're
everyone
like
about
a
this.
part of Scout Illuminati, is what you're saying.
I mean, listen, were you like harvesting uranium from ocean water? Then is it really worth being a secret?
He didn't.
Baby.
He didn't say he didn't. But we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, it's one of the Tater Tot scouts. One of the Tater Tots comes, scampering in, comes up to you, Thunic. You feel like a tugging on your pant leg. Accidentally got some of the leg hair when he did it. Because that happens by accident, Because it's also it's a kid and they have like those razor claws. Like that all children have like these razor sharp fingernails.
Yeah.
They're and so she comes tugging on you and she like holds up the note to you.
Thank you. What's this?
It's from Miss Sahar at the Silvered Harrier,
Oh, okay.
from the
Thank you.
bartender lady. And
Yes.
she tips her hat and then she pretty much disappears. Like she just like kind of backs away and then boom, it just like she does the Assassin's Creed thing where she's just into the crowd and like gone. Because
I guess just gonna stand there for a moment holding it and like,
Get, like the Homer Simpson thing backing into the bush. You look like super serious for little kids, you know, to the point where it's
Mhm.
creepy, and they stare at you and starts walking back and just
And-
the crowd. Like,
Yep.
yeah, that wasn't weird at all.
Yeah, it just does that. And you got to think the littler ones, they're probably even better at it because camouflage is sometimes a natural defense mechanism for the little ones.
Hmm.
So, like when her ghillie seat almost comes is pretty much at her feet. Like she kind of kicks at it while she's walking, because it's like she hasn't grown into the potato sack yet.
Mhm.
Doesn't have all the accoutrement just yet, but it's very dust covered. So it's almost like the cloak from Lord of the Rings when Frodo throws the cloak over and it looks like they're a rock.
Oh yeah. He's still like, who taught them that? I wonder. I didn't do that.
Or did you?
Or did he? He may have, and not realized he had, or not remembered that he had. And then he opens up the letter.
It's a note from Sahar,
Mhm.
saying that there is someone at the tavern looking for Team X, saying that they are from Acquisitions Incorporated.
Okay. Adesunic realizes this is a big deal. He doesn't think it's a big deal, but it's probably going to be more important to Roz, I should say, or
I
Drenmai
thought
or-
you meant Drenmai's dragon for a second.
Yeah,
It might be important to him.
it might be
Rozzie's my
important.
secretary. He takes care of all the communications.
Being as Hugon would probably be miffed if he was not the first one to receive it. He would give it to Hugon. He'd be a little
Alright.
bit annoyed if he wasn't the first one to receive it.
Yeah, you're pretty much correct.
You're not wrong.
So he's like, starts looking around for Hugon. He's like, Hugon, there's a letter. We got a letter. There's
Hugon takes it and flips it up and then does the quick and folds it back up and hands it back to Thunuk and then stands from his seat and goes straight to the Silver Terrier.
He sits down where you were sitting and starts portioning himself some food.
Waste not, want not.
No one told him he had to go with.
I think would as Hugon's getting up, would be like, something's going on.
Yeah, there's
Finish.
a representative back at the Silver Terrier that I imagine we're going to want to talk to.
Representative of what?
Acquisitions Incorporated.
Oh. And I take a few the last few shovel in, take a napkin with me to kind of what, and I would follow Hugon, I think.
We're left with Thunuk and Dren.
No one told him he had to go. He's eating.
also eating.
He does not comprehend that this is a situation where he is required.
And Dren just doesn't know
So-
because Dren's.
Yeah, well, let's see. I will perceive my own self. Am I paying attention or am I really hungry?
Can Drenmai
Oh,
perceive
no, I'm-
herself? She's
I roll a
hungry.
7.
Yeah. So, food is of the utmost importance
Food's
right
cool.
now. Food's. Now, how much of the we're gonna get because it's my own fault that I derail this way. How much of the oil would Thunuk and Dren have put onto their food?
For the oil, I probably would have been like, okay, well, this is a challenge because the Nook made it. So I probably would have done big glob of it.
Dumped it, just
Pretty much.
just sitting there pouring it, and it's just you're pouring it just a little too long.
Yeah. Making eye contact with the Nook.
Eye contact and the Kill Bill theme. Wah, wah, wah.
This is our ongoing challenge. It's oh, spiciness.
How much would Thunic put on there?
He doesn't understand that he's being challenged. He's putting in about a tablespoon's worth.
He's like,
A
what?
Thunic spoon's worth.
Yeah,
like,
a
what?
Thunoc's tablespoon's worth.
What?
He's just like
What? Why?
stirs it in, and he's
They're
like,
gonna ruin the flavor.
So give
It's
me.
flavor, no taste buds.
Let's see that tasty con check.
Pain is the taste that I want.
Pain is the taste.
But Drenmai,
All right,
Drenmai,
it's
you're
no-
gonna do yours at disadvantage for the sheer amount that you put on there.
Okay, con save,
Yep. Or a con check, we're gonna say.
con check. Okay.
while she's still
This-
pouring crap in there, he's like just adding things in there that aren't spice.
Oh, I rolled good on that one. 16.
16.
Yeah.
And where's Thunic fall on our
A total of 16.
a total of 16? Drenmai, you get about a bite into this, and the flop sweat starts.
Yep.
Like immediate faucet on, face, and Thunic, you can see the level of red going up Drenmai's face. And when it reaches the top, but as it's going, like as it's reaching, it's like it's like a condensation line that's growing. Like
With each layer,
her
a new
ears are
layer
sweating.
of flop sweat occurs.
Or a condiment station. Line.
Oh.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just like as it's going, it's like it's kind of like like the moisture in a cold glass of water on a hot day, and how the more you drink it, that goes down. Except this is the opposite. Like even her ears are sweating. Drenmai, like your neck is like you're getting like the next. You're getting like the sweat here. You're getting
It's the real thing.
You've got like your lips are getting a coating of something. You're not sure if it's the oil. Well, the oil is there too, and that's not making it any better. It has coated your mouth. This is hot and it is spicy, but
It's good.
you're able to get through it. You're able to power your way through it. Thunic, this is much spicier than you were anticipating. This was not the level of spice that you added to it,
Oh. Uh-oh.
but
Mhm.
it's still within the realm of, because you only put like about a teaspoon in there with all the other ingredients that are in there. You're able to get through that. There's a burning sensation. Your nose tickles a little bit, but you think
He
you're
starts-
okay.
He adds a couple of other ingredients in there from like the table
Mm-hmm.
just to balance it all out.
And you're able to bring it. You're able to bring it back down and make it fine. Okay, so on to headquarters. Oh, and one other thing. Drenmai, give me one more. Give me one more D20.
Okay.
Just a straight D20.
That's a natural one.
We're gonna come back to that.
Every one of your organs is ejected from your rectum.
Ew.
No, nothing that bad. Your organs reverse.
They just implode.
They come alive and attack your body. How
They
dare
decide.
you!
They decide that they're gonna do an episode of Property Brothers on the inside and renovate. They're gonna go for more of an open concept. No, we're gonna come back to that. Eno and Hugon, you make your way. I'm assuming Hugon going at not necessarily a quick but a determined pace. Eno probably keeping pace. I'm not sure if there's any conversation that happens here, or is it more just a.
Would that have counted as a short rest, by the way, the whole meal and stuff?
I would say that
Okay.
the quality of the time you spent would be the quality of the time you spent would count as a short rest. So yes.
Okay.
So you make your way into you get yourself into the Silvered Harrier. There's of course you're getting near sunrise now, or just past sunrise. So when you walk in, it's the third shifters, the usual graveyard shift folks are coming in there. Fresh from the mines. The ones that had to go to their shift have already left. There's the usual breakfast smells, which are very appetizing, but not nearly as much as they would have been an hour ago. after
Right, of
you
course.
now that you've had your meal. Sahar is working working the real quick, can we get a block on Hey Dick? From one of our moderators,
Oh,
Again.
Why did it send that to me?
because you're a moderator.
Oh, am I?
Well, yeah. So, so I don't know if that's a bot. Hey, we got attacked by a bot. I don't know what happens there, but hey.
I was like, wait a minute. I had no idea I had mod privileges. Now I get to abuse them.
yeah, you got a sword.
You are both sword and shield of the chat.
Yay.
So awesome. Anyways, sorry about that. Anywho, so you make your way into the Silvered Harrier, and Sahar is working at the bar there, and she glances up, and she just she nods her head towards the entrance to your headquarters. Like she just nods the head, and he's like,
Fair enough.
"Guy's down there. He came out from there. Never seen him before, but there he is."
What did he look like?
Tall, human. Looked an awful lot like the sommelier, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Not,
well,
but not the sommelier.
okay, that's concerning. And he's in our headquarters.
Yeah.
Did he show you anything that?
No, he just came up and asked where you guys were, and I said we could come find you, and he said he gave me a card, and it just said Acquisitions Incorporated on it. So like,
Can I see the card?
yeah, and she passes it over.
What is the nature of the card?
It's a little just business card embossed with the Ack Inc. logo, and it just says Steven.
With a PH.
Stephen.
And like,
Steven.
It's
he
Stephen.
passes it to Eno. He's like, I mean, this seems like kind of your territory. You make heads or tails of this.
I look
didn't
at the
think
card.
I didn't think people did cards. I thought they just told each other their names.
Is there anything else written on the card? It just says Acquisitions Incorporated Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all it says?
That's all it says. It's a nice card.
All right.
I want to do an investigation check on the card.
Okay,
What?
go for it. This
You laughing at me?
I'm laughing at because this is classic D&D where it's the most innocuous thing. And I gotta do my Arcana check on it. Hang on.
No. I'm like, this is. I suspect that there's some fuckery afoot.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
I want to see if this is a real business card, or if this is some kind of illusion.
I want to attack the darkness.
So sometimes you
That's
gotta
ooh.
attack the darkness.
That's 18 plus 2. That's 20.
It is a
Nice.
business card.
Okay.
There's
And I
nothing.
hand it back to Hugon and say it's a business card.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I don't know, Steven. Do you?
Well, no, it was. I was like, if there was like,
Oh,
embossing or something hidden about the card.
well, I looked.
It's just a standard business card.
There's no hidden pockets in it. There's nothing.
Yeah, he's like,
untoward.
I'm like looking. He's like looking at the at the edge of it.
Mhm.
I mean, he's like turning it over, and like as he's investigating it, this is what you see. You see, he's like turning it over, and he turns it over. He turns it over again, and then he shakes it up to his ear, and then he like looks at it like that, up like really close, and then he looks at it like really far away, and then
holds it up to the light.
Yeah, he holds it up to the light, and then
Well,
he's
when you
just
do
sort of-
that, you do see the Ack Inc. watermark in there. So it's
Okay.
very much like when you hold like a bill, paper money up, and it's got the watermark in there.
Okay.
So it does have
We-
the Ack Inc.
So when he sees the watermark, he goes, ah. And then he holds it in his hand like that, and he kind of weighs it a little. He just sort of tosses it a little bit, and then he goes, looks fine to me.
I subjected it to a battery of tests.
Yeah.
It's good card stock.
I mean, like, you know, I thought maybe it was some spy shit, but looks like it's just a business card.
I kind of point out, I hold it up to the watermark to see if Hugon can see. It's got a watermark
Yeah, I know. It's
too. So I mean, I don't know.
it's
That
probably
could be
pretty
fake.
official. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
You don't know
subjected it to a
Steven?
battery of tests.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him.
Do we see anybody around that looks like they could be a Steven?
No, and
Stevie Stevens?
Is there a Steven adjacent?
Stephen G.
Yeah.
No, it's the normal. This is the regular crowd. Everyone in the tavern proper is the regular crowd that you're
Okay.
used to seeing in there. You guys have spent enough time there that you know who the regulars are. Well, Pinedale hasn't had visitors from like out of town because the way is still essentially shut, right? Like, there's still no travel between Pinedale and the outside world. So everyone you see there, you've seen at some point or another in Pinedale. So it's not
Right, of course. All right, well, I guess we go down to the office.
Okay.
And Hugon is still covered in werewolf blood.
Just the viscera,
It's-
like
Yeah,
bits.
too. I mean,
dry, but like he did not bathe. He did not clean off.
well, actually, I would have used prestidigitation on myself. I as I was cleaning, I'm sure
Yeah,
any blood
Oh, yeah,
probably
just
was gone.
clean it off.
But my clothes looked a little bad. So I would, as we were walking down, I would turn to Hugon and I'd be like, are the gates locked? I mean, are people allowed to come in? How would he have had to have come in using magical means?
I don't know.
Or was he here the whole time? Is he like stationed here?
I mean, Acquisitions Incorporated, I know for a fact, employs very dangerous, very expert people. So, really, anything is possible. He
And
could have
I'm one.
teleported. He could have walked. He could have leveraged the power of this gate. I'm not sure, which is why I'm a little aggravated that he's in our office without us there.
So you work your way down the steps into your office, and as we've established before, this was the former stables of this tavern at one point, where there is a bricked over ramp leading up. That was the way in and out originally. Where the doors were, that's where this great stone arch is, that you've used to travel to the Shadow Monastery twice now, but only one time back. We all know this, right?
Mhm.
Anyway, hearing strange things from downstairs. I think someone got a squeaky toy. Anyway, sorry. And you have like the different stalls have been converted into your various offices. In the middle, you've got in the middle of the you have your table there, your main like conference table, this heavy like oak table, and sitting there is a finely just gentleman with chiseled jaw,
Mm-hmm.
cheekbones that could cut glass. Looks very much like the sommelier. Slightly different. You can see there's definitely a familial relation there. That's very
So, like the sommelier or for Hollander, because we established that they're two different people.
sommelier. Yeah,
Okay.
the sommelier. Yeah, Hollander is So we established that Hollanders is owned by the Hollanders of Waterdeep, and the sommelier is one of their employees. But this looks more like the sommelier. And he's sitting there. He's at the table. He's got like the shoulder cape cloak thing going on the one side. And he's sitting there and he looks like he's reading through reports. And he looks up and he goes, "Ah, Master Valander, Master Eno, I'm so glad you could join me. Where is the rest of your team?"
I suspect that they are on their way.
For those on the podcast, Thunic is miming eating, and Drenmai is just shaking her head no. He says,
For some inexplicable reason, she just starts shaking her head no.
he says, no. Is there any way we can be sure? Can we make sure we have important things to discuss?
Yeah. Beyond the name Thunuk, are you familiar with his person?
I've read all of his files.
Right. Okay. And then I trust that you are also in at least some capacity familiar with Drenmai.
Very much so, yes.
Okay.
Self-explanatory.
I can see where the problem might lie.
Yeah. If this is important and it's going to need people to pay attention and not ask stupid questions and not launch into stories about spiders and how you can eat them. Or you know, just
you can
general.
eat spiders.
I don't
know
want
that
to
was
get
an
into
option.
it.
Okay.
Don't want to get
Understood.
into it. This is the kind of thing that I'm dealing with.
Well, allow me to introduce myself. We shall start without them, and then we shall try to bring them up to speed as best as possible. It has come to our attention that you've been operating for some time here out of Pinedale. You've negotiated several contracts. It seems like you've been moderately successful with your franchise, but you have been operating for some time without your major domo.
What?
You didn't read that part of the contract.
No. What is a major domo? What do they specifically do?
It's basically a business manager of sorts.
Oh, okay.
Someone who helps you get done the things that need to get done, just with general franchise operations. While you're off growing the franchise, I can help you with your managing your employees, you're managing your interns, helping you requisition things, general advice on operational procedure and such things.
Okay.
You clearly didn't read the update to your contract.
We've been very busy.
I can see that. That's completely understandable. So perhaps we can deal with Mr. Gentletrunk and Miss Gemweaver in a little bit. Perhaps we should start with this, though. And he rummages into like this side satchel, and he pulls out this wrist bracer, and it has 2 gemstones in it. And he hands it to you, Eno, and he goes, Mr. Eno, it seems that you are new to the franchise here, and you were not here for the initial disbursement of company equipment, and you have been without this. We feel like it's imperative that you receive one immediately. And he hands over this, and it looks like the same wrist bracer that you've seen all the other team members wearing. I'm mistaken. It actually has 3 gemstones in it. And you've seen Hugon. Well, you've seen them all use the communication one, where they hit the one little stone, and that's how they communicate with them. You've also seen the one that Hugon has used to deploy his armor. And what that one would actually do for you is allow you to store your armor and weapons in a little like pocket dimension that's always with you. So it makes, as cinematic as it may look, it allows you to basically instantly deploy your armor and weapons. So that way you don't have to constantly walk around town in full armor. But should you find yourself in a combat situation, it means that you don't have to worry about walking into combat essentially naked.
Or you could if that's your thing.
Listen, that might sometimes combat is required to be done naked. These things. Listen, it's the way it's written down, and you can't change the rules.
I'm not a barbarian.
And for cinematic purposes, this can be as cool as like when Hugon puts his armor on and it's actually like forms on him. I mean, think about it. Are you going to sit there and let Voltron form? No, you hold on to one of those lions and you keep it from happening. But and
You grab it by the scruff of the neck. You put its face in the pile. Oh wait, no.
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 And so one of those buttons is for and Stephen is explaining this to you, and he says one of these is for once you attune for deploying your armor and weapons. One is for communication with your team within a certain distance, and the other one allows you to recover some health should you find yourself in desperate need of some. And mechanically, it's a D4. You can recover 1d4 hit points, and you can't use it again until the beginning of the next day.
Okay.
So he goes, but as the and he checks his files here, and he looks through his papers, and he goes, these papers say here you are the loremonger. Is that correct? Do our records correctly reflect your position within?
I mean, that was something I was interested in. I didn't have a lot of information about it until recently.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm interested in that role. Sure.
Okay. Well, I think we have some equipment that you all must require. Um, I feel like at this point we actually probably should summon Miss Gemweaver and Mr. Gentle Trunk. Perhaps if we tell Miss Gemweaver there is something shiny here, and perhaps with Mr. Gentle Trunk that I don't know that perhaps there's some food available for him. I know we have to go with what motivates them.
Also puppies.
Hugon like hits the communicator on his wrist, or rather that gemstone. Thunuk and Dren, you are to report to the Silvered Harrier immediately. We have official business with Acquisitions Incorporated.
I can't hear you. It's breaking up.
Do you want this stuff, or am I going to pitch it in the trash? It's up to you.
What stuff?
I don't know. Probably magical shit. Oh no! I guess it all belongs to me now.
Starting to run.
Doing. She's off the door.
Opens the door. Slam. What?
And then there's and he goes, okay, I'm sure that will definitely attract Miss Gemweaver. Is there any suggestion for how we might motivate Mr. Gentle Trunk to join us?
Well, he's eating, and if you get your hand near his face.
Oh yes, no, you'd never stick your hands into the chipper shredder, but
Exactly. It may be
And about
best.
this time, you hear back from Thunuk with his mouth full of. Oh, I'm on my way.
Thunuk, swallow your fucking food. That's disgusting.
And he pushes the button again. Okay, that's rude.
Now come to the Silvered Harrier.
But I mean, you've been very rude, but okay.
Did
fine.
you?
That was a naughty word. You're not supposed to use that word.
So after these calls, he goes, I'm looking around your office. Have you not been using the second floor?
No. Why don't you show us where that is? Because I didn't know we had one.
And he walks over to one of the stalls, and there's like a on one of the knots on one of the stalls, like on the wooden post, you can see he like pushes in this knot, and you hear it slides in with a very soft click, and then you start to hear like some gears turning and some clanking, and it sounds like some screeching, like maybe some gears that have not received enough oil as of late. And one of the unused stalls actually, you can see the floor actually lowers, and it turns into a set of stairs.
Oh, neat.
And he goes, "Oh, follow me. I'll show you the additional resources that you have. Perhaps we still have other more important matters to discuss as far as the growth of the franchise, but I believe that we should at least show you the tools you have at your disposal to help you with this first."
That would be good.
And he leads you
Proceed.
down these stairs. And as you go down, like these lanterns on the wall light up. The little fires light up inside them. Little fires that are filled with
Green flame.
Oh, I was
you.
going to say yellow flame, but clearly I was wrong. I apologize.
always on brand.
Always-
Always on brand. Grand flame. So he leads you downstairs, and here you find there's several features that you're seeing here. The first main feature is a large table that's round, with various dials in the side, and what looks to be a map of Pinedale in the middle.
Oh, that would have been useful 6 months ago.
And there's also lockers, these wooden lockers along each wall, and above it has the different positions. It has decisionist, cartographer, loremonger, hordes person, and it has that, and it has what looks to be an oddly shaped hole in the right by where the handle is. And he comes in. He goes, well, once your other two compatriots join us, we'll be able to further go over this. But might I suggest opening your lockers, because I believe there's some equipment in there that you shall need. Oh, Mr. Eno, you did not receive your key, did you?
I don't have a key, no.
And he roots around again in his bag, and he pulls out a golden pine cone, and he hands it to you.
Thank you.
And this is what you can use to open up your locker, so that way only you can access the equipment of your position.
So he just sort of like moves the pine cone sort of near the locker. He's not sure exactly.
You can see that the pine cone looks like it could fit into the and he actually goes, the pine cone fits into the keyhole, Mr. Eno.
Okay. So do I see the keyhole?
Yeah, it's a giant odd shaped hole right next to it.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I put the pine cone into the keyhole.
Yeah, and so it clicks, it turns, and the locker opens up for you.
Okay.
And in when you open it, you find you find this. It looks like a the end of a like a hearing horn that you've seen people that are hard of hearing use. They stick it in their ear, and it's got this long tube coming off the end, and it's got a threaded end on it. And he says, and he goes, "This is for your whisper jaw, so that you may maintain appropriate records of the exploits and information required by Team Xenagog." And he goes,
and do I see the jar in there as well?
There is no jar in there, though.
Okay.
He goes, where is the receptacle? And did we not send you? I believe I saw him upstairs, and he claps. He does and Buck comes hovering down the stairs, and he comes up to you. And every time he hits a step, it's like he hovers always a little bit, but as he hits the step, he like falls down the step, and there's like a little dink, dink, dink as he makes his way down, and he comes up and he floats up next to you, and right in like the top of his head, a peripheral port opens. It looks to be the approximate same threading as your horn.
Oh, okay.
He goes, we had to make certain adjustments. We felt that in this particular area that we needed to shield the whisper jaw. There's too many magical elements around that could potentially interfere with the operation. So we had to find an alternative to storing the appropriate information. I believe you call him Buck.
So I take the tube and I screw it into the thing.
Make a dexterity check, please.
Okay. Oh god damn. 7.
Yeah, you're having trouble with this. This is like, the threads should line up. You can see they line up, but it's taken you a few times because you don't want to cross thread it.
Right.
So
So
the magical energies that could be released are catastrophic.
yeah. So as I sort of mess with it a little bit, and I just give up. I don't want to break it. I just got it, and I just go, oh, this is pretty cool. Is there any kind of instruction manual on this, or
merely attach the receptacle to the peripheral, and you speak into it. It'll store anything that you store in it.
okay? Does it work with any sound?
Any sound that you deem. So if you decide that you would like to use it as, I've not to put thoughts in your head, but if you decided to have other people be recorded without them knowing. You could potentially do that, but it works at your will. We're not exactly sure of exactly how it works. We just know that it works.
How delightful.
Dren and Thunic, as you guys are walking over, Drenmai, you start sneezing uncontrollably. It's like a hiccup
Okay.
and then a sneeze, and then a hiccup and a sneeze. And the sneezes taste like the hot sauce.
With garlic.
Yes, with a little garlic in there. But give me a D6 roll.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
1.
1. Okay. Give me one D20 to check your wild magic.
Oh, boy.
Amazing.
Oh, 1. Again.
You rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1. Where's my damn table?
Oh God.
Oh no, it's never a good thing when the DM starts bouncing in
Cackling.
his chair.
It's
Yeah.
the first time I've seen a surge.
You used all your good rolls at the beginning.
You did.
Pretty much.
And now there was only pain.
Mm,
Pain. Sadness.
100% pain. Oh, and I missed opportunity. I should have said Barbarian earlier.
Oh, you did
great.
miss an
Would
opportunity.
have been awesome.
So did we ban our first bot?
So,
Wasn't a bot.
Was
Just an ass.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, does that mean we're actually making it somewhere? That's kind of
bot,
cool.
asshole, completely interchangeable.
Yes, let's get that. Let's get a D100 roll.
Oh God.
Yep. What page is the table on?
104 of the player's handbook.
104. Okay. There it is. All right. D100. Where's my 2 dice? 48. What do I have to deal with?
48. A unicorn controlled by the DM appears in a space within 5 feet of you, then disappears 1 minute later.
Is anyone around me?
Just Thunic.
Fuck! No!
And this,
Chase
so
after
Thunic, this majestic, pearlescent unicorn, white as pure as a newly driven snow, appears out of nowhere, walking next to you.
Oh. Hi. Hello.
I go to write it.
That's a really good way to get killed.
Give me an animal handling check.
Okay.
Is this like a normal unicorn? So like a intelligent.
That's what I'm looking up
Fake.
here.
It's up to the DM's thing because it just says a unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 7.
You are gored to death.
I have a negative in animal handling, so
She's
Uh,
corned to death. Maybe.
Oh God. And it.
If it's a unicorn composed of corn,
Okay.
A unicorn.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Unicorn.
I can
Now I'm
totally
trying to
see
see.
that happening.
Does a unicorn actually speak? I don't
I
think
may
it
be
does.
rough
It
thinking of a
doesn't.
different edition.
No, it doesn't have any languages.
Weird.
So I'm sorry. So Clues, what did you roll for your animal handling?
I got a 7.
A 7. It's not working too well for you.
I'm
like
very short. It's very tall.
and it's kind of giving you a look, and it's like trying to paw you off the entire time, like just like if it could
Knock
speak,
it off.
if it could speak, it would be saying, "Stop that! Stop it!"
I'm petting it.
So you walk alongside this for about a minute, petting it. Thunic, what's your reaction to it?
Sonic is introducing himself. He is fully aware of what unicorns are all about, and
yes.
one suddenly appering
Mm-hmm.
is clearly the work of the Four,
Oh,
and they are trying to send him a message.
oh. What,
by,
what
a-
message would he take from this, though?
Don't talk with your mouth full.
he as he's introducing himself, he's just like, it's an honor. I'm not entirely certain what's going on, but clearly you're here for a reason. I mean, what wisdom do the four have send? I mean,
Oh, give me a religion check. This is absolutely a religion check.
which is ironic because I have a negative to religion.
he's not a good nature cleric.
He's wise, but he's not very particularly well educated.
I got 16.
16.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would have been an 18 if it was no bonus, but
16. You feel that the unicorn is a sign of an important mission that the four would like you to partake on their behalf.
Ooh.
And you think that seeing as how in the last 24 hours you've basically made 2 new friends, that there might be something connected to them, and maybe your first new friend, because a unicorn has 1 horn, which is the number 1, so maybe the one new friend that you made might have some answers for you.
Okay. Here's the question. Would Thunuk then cast Speak with Animals so he can actually have a proper conversation with this unicorn?
That would make the most sense to me. I mean, this is a unicorn. This is a deeply revered natural entity.
I was not expecting this.
No, I don't think he would, because
You wild magic.
It's sudden, and he's
wild magic
falling
at
over his
its
own-
well. First, we'll talk about it in table talk. Anyway,
it's a sudden thing, and he's falling over his own feet trying to introduce himself and interact with. He's probably not even thinking about it. It hasn't even occurred to him. So he's entirely relying on his inherent ability to communicate with animals via speech of beast and leaf. That's what it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah, speech of
Yes.
beast and leaf.
I should know this thing. It's my character. Why do I know this stuff? So I'm sure he'll probably think of it just as the unicorn disappears.
oh yeah, so it would take a while, and then right as he's about to talk, he's like, "I've got questions."
Yes.
And
the
the
unicorn dissolves
and the
into a
unicorn
screaming puddle of
no, the unicorn
off-white goo.
the unicorn just goes. So what would this be? So you cast the spell, and Thunuk's about to ask the question. So what's the question?
No, I don't think he cast the spell. I think he's been using speech of beast and leaf, and it's just like, oh wait, he's not. The unicorn isn't answering me. I should cast the spell, and then.
Oh, I was gonna say, because it would be like right as you asked the question, it would have been like, oh, it's and and then so after a minute, there's an explosion of glitter and sparkles and rainbows, and the unicorn disappears.
Because it's been slain.
Just poof, gone.
It levels a city block.
It's just with confetti, with sparkly confetti, just
Mushroom cloud.
I'm covered in sparkles and I'm so happy.
it's been the best day. But your sneezes still continue.
Okay.
So anyway, so you make your way down to the Silver Harrier. As you're making that trip, Hugon, do you open up your locker?
Hugon isn't sure what locker he's supposed to open.
The Decisionist. Oh, no, oh, that's right. That's right. And he says, "Ah, yes, Mr. Philander, you were an experimental position.
That makes me feel so good. Thank you.
Well, as a company, we're
Test subject.
as a company, we're always trying to push the boundaries, test new paradigms, always trying to make sure that we're operating at peak efficiency. And so the Intrigus position is one that we feel is still in beta. So perhaps it might make sense," and he starts filing through some of his paperwork. He goes, "It might make sense that we also make sure that we have another one of the roles fulfilled. Perhaps..."
How about this? Just hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, let's step backward. Who are you? What is your name?
My name is Stephen. I am your major domo.
Just Stephen. There's
Stephen.
no last name, house name, anything like that.
Stephen is fine.
Stephen.
Stephen will
Okay.
suffice.
I think we've got a lot more lockers than we do people.
We build these things out, knowing that there could be
Right.
some flexibility at some point. Members come,
So-
members go, positions change. We feel it best to be prepared for all eventualities.
Right. And you just is one of those eventualities a franchisee possessing more than one job duty?
Generally, no, but being that the Intrigue's position is still in beta testing, we feel that it would make sense that we don't neglect the other positions that are available.
Tell you what. Do you have like paperwork that I can read up on these entities, these jobs?
Yes, in fact, we do. We actually just released a new pamphlet this week.
Yeah. Of course. Why, thank you.
Podcast, everyone just busted out their books and Vanna Whited it.
We did. We absolutely did.
Listen, I'm not doing this just because the book came out. There's good stuff in here, and I want to use it.
I was actually looking at a background concept, and it's Scion of Famous Adventurer.
Sign of Celebrity Adventurer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was actually something I was kicking around as a background for like a random background. It was a child of former adventurers, where like you get a couple of like bonuses to stuff, but you're completely inept at normal life situations.
Should we do some quick ASMR because I haven't actually opened my book yet?
Oh, yes, please. There we go.
Let's
Shh.
see.
I hear the spine creaking.
You hear Spine Creek?
Yeah.
I hear the microphone getting hit.
Yeah.
I can
Crackle.
I can smell the printing fumes.
Exactly. Okay, now we can continue on.
Okay, now we can continue.
Out of character, I'm feeling the obviator is probably Hugon's sort of.
I figured it would either be Obviator or Occultant, the person who's in charge of figuring out a way to kill everything, or the person who keeps track of everything that's killed.
Right.
That was,
I mean, we might do both.
well, we will come back to that. So Hugon is sitting there. So Drenmai and Thunuk, you enter into the Silvered Harrier,
And go down to our offices.
and Sahar motions down to the offices. Drenmai, give me another D6.
D6. 1. I'm gonna stop rolling.
No, is your D6 a 1?
It was 1.
Okay, so give me one wild magic check.
Suddenly,
roll-
the polar opposite of a unicorn appears.
That's a 19.
Okay, so no wild magic surge at this point.
I slam open the door. Hugon!
And when you come into the when you come into the main office, there's no one down there, but you do notice that there is now a stairwell where there wasn't one before in one of the old horse stalls.
Oh, he probably heard me. I was.
Oh
loud.
yeah, he definitely did, and he went.
He's
Kept reading.
Yeah, he's busy reading through the different job descriptions. But Eno heard it as well.
Is it like something I can see that's visibly open?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll follow wherever that is.
Okay.
Where are you?
Figure it out. You're smart.
Eno would say, "We're down here, downstairs."
I'll follow it and wait. I thought it was an upstairs.
No,
Is it
downstairs. No,
downstairs?
this
A
is because you guys.
Sub-basement.
It's a sub basement.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I need to like get my computer down here and a mini fridge.
What's a computer?
What's a mini fridge?
Uh,
Who's Amy?
guys, guess what?
What?
I had a unicorn
Oh, that's well, I've heard of those.
You see her covered in sparkles.
And like Eno's kind of like, what?
It
What
was-
happened to the unicorn?
I don't know. He exploded. Why are we down here?
Oh, this is Steven. Steven, this is
I'm sorry,
Dra-
Stephen.
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 With PH.
Stephen.
This is Stephen with a PH, and this
With
is
a PH,
Drenmai.
Ah, yes,
Stephen.
Miss Gemweaver. We I believe I saw her at headquarters before.
Oh, hey, Stephen.
Yes,
God damn it.
yes, you're Horde's person, and I believe you do, Miss Gemweaver. It is nice to see you again. I believe you did receive your Horde's person bag.
Oh yeah, I've
Yes.
got that. It's working great. You guys are awesome.
I
Why are you here?
Well, it became apparent that you guys have been your team has been operating without your major domo, and so I've been assigned by headquarters to serve in that function to help you continue with your with your expansion of the franchise. You've
Aw.
negotiated. You successfully helped negotiate the real estate transaction with the Mage Academy, which construction groundbreaking occurred several months ago, and construction occurs at a very nice clip. And we're certain to have an excellent relationship there. You were able to negotiate the contract with the monastery in the mountains, the mountain monastery, and access to the library, which was certainly a boon. For
figured you'd all like
yes, that information is always invaluable. It pays for itself triple in its weight of gold. And you've also apparently negotiated a defense contract with
That's how I like to
security
look at it.
contract, a
Yeah.
defense contract with Pinedale here, which is something we had not necessarily intended when you had arrived, merely to act as troubleshooters. You've operated beyond that, but there's still opportunities for expansion, and I'm here to help you with that, because at a certain point, just the sheer management of the Mr. Gentletrunk, thank you for joining us.
So, in the short of it, you got a promotion. I'm proud of you, Stephen.
Thank you very much, Miss Gemweaver. Mr. Gentletrunk, it is nice to finally meet you. And he walks over with his hand stuck out, like ready to shake your hand. And you are allowed. We've heard so much about you and your exploits.
Flinnick takes his hand and he's like, "You have?"
We have, in fact, you are the cartographer. If memory serves, if the files are correct, you are the franchise cartographer. Yes.
Yes, that is what I do.
He goes, I have
My
something.
maps?
Yes, in fact, I would like to see your maps.
Oh, okay. Come see my maps.
And he goes, and let me show you to your map.
My, I have a map.
Oh, yes, you must all please gather round. And he takes you over to, he waves all of you over to the table at the center of the room. And so this table is built, it's approximately 10 feet across. And it's built kind of like, well, for lack of a better description, like a gaming table.
Oh, neat.
Like your typical gaming table, where you can see on the map, and it's got it looks like a constructed map of Pinedale with miniatures. So if you imagine, I guess, is that whenever I've seen them at Unplugged, is that Warforged? I'm thinking, or who's?
Oh no, you're thinking of Dwarforged. Dwarf.
Yeah, Dwarf. Yeah. It looks very much like this, like very much like a War Games.
So it's a
setup there.
diorama set to like 16th scale. or something.
Exactly, and you can see there's actually like it looks like there's almost like a grid overlaid upon it. And he goes, I believe that all of you will appreciate this, but Mr. Gentletrunk, you will be able to help build upon this map. And he actually like starts to fiddle with some of the dials, and as he does that, the map actually changes in scale.
Oh, neat.
And it shrinks down, and he can see that he like brings it out to like a greater relief of the Chandlewood as a whole, where you're seeing it in general relief. It's not, you can see in certain areas it may not look quite as accurate. It almost looks a little fuzzy. There's like blank areas on the map where it looks like maybe there's trees just sort of put there as placeholders. You can see where Elboulder is. But he says, yes, you can actually, this has the region as you map it. You will be able to add more to it. And he goes, so Mr. Gentletrunk, if you could, may I see one of your maps?
Yeah, sure. He runs upstairs and basically grabs every map that he could get his hands on.
But
So he
there's,
comes
but
back
it's
upstairs like,
dun, 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 dun.
boom, 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 boom. And he's like, here, and throws them all on the table at once.
And it's just this. And he goes, please, sir, if you could just, if you might pick one.
Oh, ooh, he closes his eyes and just like jabs a finger at one. That one.
And give me a get to see a D100 roll here to see which map it chooses. And as he's doing this, as he goes, Miss Gemweaver, your equipment locker is now available to you.
Yay, more stuff.
Did you not provide everyone with the documentation along
she
with the
didn't.
franchise contract?
I hoard things. I'm not the secretary person.
Well, this is why you are the horse person, I'm sure. And he points you to the locker. Yours is actually like, and so the lockers actually you can see are on like this like adjustment system where they're kind of like on rails, so that way you can actually like slide it down to like Drenmai level or like lift it up to Thunuk level. They're like on a balanced like
Cool.
locker situation, and you can see where your pine cone, your golden pine cone can fit. And you can when you open it, you can see that there's actually like a slightly different Horde's person bag in there. Should you decide to switch it out,
What page is it on, just so I can look over
page
it?
25. So the way they have it here is a battered leather satchel, prone to spitting out multicolored sparks at the seams. And
Oh,
so you
it's
do
my
that.
thing.
And it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like leaking arcane energy. And it's like always like kind of like sparking, kind of like it, like the wires
So
aren't,
perfect for me.
the wires aren't quite hooked up just right.
Mm-hmm.
And so Thunuk is still gathering his things, and he turns to you, Hugon, and he goes, Mr. Valanda, any thoughts as to the official position you would like to fill?
There's some very interesting ones in here, and I'm sad that I can't have all of them. But that being the case, I think
Yes, we had to change that. It used to be you could take 2, but we had to change that. We called that the Blitzen rule, and just
Obviator.
ooh.
I'm already very good at it.
If I may say so, you are very good at it, and I think this is an excellent choice. It will definitely play to your skill set excellently. And he so basically he pulls out some of the paperwork and he finds the Obviator one. He passes over the official job description, and he basically signals to where your signature is required and hands you a quill.
Mm-hmm. And he'll
Sign. And he goes, and he files it away. And actually, no, excuse me. He takes it and he walks over to Buck and he like feeds it into like the little slot, and you can kind of hear like the dot matrix scanning of it. And he goes, you should be able to access your locker now.
Fair enough.
And when you access it, let's see, what does this person get? They get. So there, when you open it, there is an alchemist kit in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you and there's a little book that goes along with it, because obviously you are not an alchemist, and there's some
true.
There's some learning that needs to be done in there.
There's some night courses that need to be taken.
Yeah, and it's going to take you probably, you figure, about a week to get through that book. But once you finish with that, you will be able to claim some proficiency with some limited alchemy.
Well, in the meantime, I can always use the kit for like brewing
Mm-hmm.
or distilling,
Ooh,
like making liquor.
this is true, and I like this. Now, if I remember, you also get. Isn't there an Obviator class?
It's the monocle.
The
And
monocle.
I think that's it. 2. It's called Read the Opposition. Or no.
No,
Yeah, it is.
no, but that's just something you can do. That's just something you can do. Alchemy kit. I swore that you got Aviator's
Aviator's
lenses.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can. So you also see you have Aviator lenses in there. Let's see. So we'll allow it to go this way though. This would probably, I imagine, look like a spyglass, like a telescope. I imagine that would be like what would be.
I was thinking like little, like really small, like really like thin wire rim spectacles.
Oh, really? Okay, we
Just
could do
like
that.
itty bitty ones that he has to like kind of like unfold and like just put on his eyes.
I like it. So you can. So this will function as eyes of minute seeing or eyes of the eagle.
Cool.
But you basically make that you make that choice, and then it's that for the rest of that day. So,
Neat.
Dredmai, give me first of all, Dredmai, give me a perception check.
Okay. I was reading that the disbursement of coin is at my discretion.
It
Be
is.
really nice to me. Hordes person joke. 17.
You do notice that when Hugon opens his locker, that you do see that there's the alchemy kit, which is kind of like meh, but you also see the spectacles.
Noted.
Okay. Now please give me
You can't have these.
give me another D6 roll because you're still sneezing uncontrollably as this happens.
3.
You must
Sneeze fart.
give me 3 wild magic checks.
God damn it. Okay. A 6. A 7. These aren't great. And 15.
Okay, you're fine.
Okay.
It's if you roll a 1, that's when you get the wild
It's-
magic
if
surge.
I roll a 1, that's when the bad shit happens. Or unicorns.
So Thunux comes stomping downstairs with the maps. We do roll a D100 so we can determine which map we shall be looking.
86.
A what?
86.
86. Okay. So this is going to be the map that you made with all of the ley lines on it. Okay. And so he goes, excellent choice. And he takes it and he actually you can see he opens up a slot in the side of the table and he places the map in there and closes it. And there's like a purple glowing from behind like this hatch. And then as you can see on the map, the waypoints and ley lines start appearing on the featured map. And he says, so the way this works is as you make more maps of where you are, you can feed it into the master system here, and it will add it to your master map.
It eats my maps?
Oh, no. And he goes, open your locker. Well, it doesn't a matter of speaking, but go ahead and open your locker.
Cynic's concerned
Yeah.
because I spent a lot of time making that. It can't eat my maps.
It will not eat your maps. Do not worry. You'll be fine.
You just said it ate my map.
More like digested it.
That's eating.
Please, sir, open.
I know that word. It's a fancy word for eating.
If you would, just open your locker. I assure you, everything will be fine.
He takes out his pine cone
Mhm.
and places it in the little slot space thing.
And the locker opens, and inside you find your map case. You find a nice Thunux-sized map case.
Oh.
And he says, now, concentrate carefully on the map you wish to get.
It is not hard because he's very concerned about its well-being.
So, okay, so then give me an intelligence check. Or no. Oh, no. Give me a wisdom check. But because in this moment you're so concerned, you can do it with advantage.
Oh. 20. Dirty.
Dirty 20. As you reach in, you're able to kind of fiddle around. You feel like all the different maps in there, and you're able to pull out now the map with the ley lines on it.
Thunuk is visibly relieved.
And he says, "Yes. So as you make more maps of the area, you'll be able to add it to this. But I believe that there is the question of what's the most pressing matter right now, and that is, well, I guess it might be, well, it's actually two matters that are quite closely related. If I'm to understand, you had some issues in the previous evening." This is not a rhetorical question. I was hoping that someone could answer.
We
Ask
Don't-
it again, please. Just so.
You had there was
Headache?
there was an issue with a werewolf, if I'm to understand correctly.
Okay, yes, plural. And the issue is that they are outside the city and are hunting in the city. And we
Yes.
killed one, but we have no idea how many more there are.
And am I to understand that also you've had dealings with one Lord Zedram Kai?
Yeah, and those aren't finished either.
He's a smelly jerk.
Yeah, and I have, I don't know, thoughts on the matter as well.
I believe that these matters might be related.
Really?
Yes. And in order for the franchise to expand properly, we must establish economy with the outside world once again. But we cannot do this without it. So without dealing with some of these threats. Have any of you any ideas as to how we should address this and how I may be of service in this particular regard?
Well, this is company talk, understand. We've entered into a business discussion about our work now, so
Of course.
everything, of course, is confidential.
Oh, of course.
Obviously, and I know that you would know this, and we're just saying it for the record.
he's
that Bugs can take it
as
down.
he's like looking at Drenmai and Thunuk, like
I've long been suspicious that Zedram Kai is at least partially, if not wholly, responsible for the problems Pinedale and Elboulder are suffering. I intend to handle this as illegally as possible until the point where legality no longer favors me, and then I'm going to do everything else that I feel is necessary to remove him as a problem.
well, you know that the general rule of thumb is what is good for the company is good for the company.
Precisely. And in that regard, contingent on how well this little dragooning initiative that I have works out, I may be making a bit of a power grab in the government of Pinedale.
This is the DM's face because I had no idea that this is where he was going, but I love it. He goes, it's certainly ambitious, but I could see where this could work to everyone's
I've
advantage.
had private correspondence with head office in regards to this. It is within the bounds of the company purview to do this sort of thing, if it favors us, and I think that it will. My goal is essentially to make it illegal for Zedram Kai to operate in Pinedale and its environs.
Twisting the legal system to the company's advantage. I love it.
Yep. And also stealing all his shit and redistributing all of his wealth and tearing down his house and ousting his business partners in the city. Whatever really I can get away with.
Again, this is the DM giggling because I like all of these things. Dren
I
Mike,
hate him. Just to be clear,
I hate him and I hate his stupid face.
I hate him, and so this is what we're doing.
Dren Mike, give me a Constitution check, please.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
20?
D20 Constitution check.
Here we go. I almost lost it. It's been doing me so well. 21 though.
Ah, the sneezing fit finally ends.
And I feel that was the last one. Like I got it all out. I'm better now, guys. I'm allergic to unicorns. No.
And he says, well, hopefully with the new equipment we have been able to provide you, and with some legal finagling, we can now definitely take this plan to its fruition. I think it definitely has potential. Is there any other issues that you would like me to deal with?
I am not for lack of a better word, people person.
No. Dren's like,
So I'm going to need when this plan of ours goes through, I will need like a person better dealing with people to help explain it to them.
I'm here to serve.
Right. And also probably to write up all the documentation and
Ah.
contracts and what have you. Buck can probably print those out, but I don't know.
There are standard forms that we can be provided. Boilerplate, really. When it comes to government takeover, there are just some boilerplate contracts we have on file. It happens more often than you would think.
I'm hoping for a peaceable transition.
Mr. Eno, Master Gentletrunk, Miss Gemweaver, are there any other tasks that you would need of me?
I can't think of anything immediately that Dren would need. Well, now I get to like update my bag and what it looks like and how chaotic it is.
The bag is actually a tesseract.
Yeah, I love it. Did you see the picture of
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah,
bags?
it's pretty great.
It looks like it's sticking its tongue out.
Like,
pretty righteous.
I'm like, okay, that's now my new head.
I love how they've taken the bag of devouring, which is a cursed item in the older
Yeah.
editions of D&D,
Mm-hmm.
that eats your loot and whatever else you put into it.
Like your hand.
Yeah, and then turned it into a actual banking device.
It's adorable.
That's what it looks like.
Aw.
Big goofy boy. Master Gentletrunk, has your employee at the clinic signed the appropriate forms?
My employee?
Yes, a Miss Swift, I believe, is doing work for you there.
Oh, she's just helping. She doesn't work for me.
Oh, do we still need her to sign the hold harmless agreement, the arbitration agreement, and thing? We need to make sure all of the I's are dotted and all of the T's are crossed, of course. I shall take care of that for you. I shall introduce myself and take care of that. Master Eno, is there anything that you require?
Eno is looking over the pamphlet and he says, "It says here, I can get some tools, also out of this position."
Were they not in your locker?
I didn't see any. I was hoping to get some leatherworking tools, maybe improve this armor a little bit.
Ah, we shall requisition that for you immediately.
Oh, okay, great.
One last piece before I feel like your paperwork is just in utter disarray, and I need to take care of that first before things have gone out of whack in the franchise. In your absence, in your adventures to other realms, there is the matter of the bill that has been incurred with one particular weapon shop. I believe Hollander's Fine Weapons.
Bill.
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, but we did requisition some rather expensive weapons from them. All for good purpose, of course. Much
These are-
needed.
We borrowed these. We're taking them back.
Yes, but he has sent us a rental fee.
For how much?
Well, I wouldn't concern yourself with the exact amount. I do believe we can work out a payment plan. I just think we shall need to find some additional contracts to take on in order to ensure that everything is...
I'm not the kind of person
I'm blaming Hugon.
that likes to leave these things unknown. How much do we owe?
Well, it seems that approximately 300 gold
Hugon!
per weapon.
Hugon!
Okay, that's way more reasonable than what I thought you were going to say, so I'm not mad anymore.
For the down payment. He also said there's an option. He believed he called it lease with option to buy.
Okay, well, we're going to have a talk.
He didn't say anything about.
We're going to go have
Money?
a conversation with some
He said something about when your neighbor's house is on fire, you don't quibble about the price of the water bucket. But it's I shall address the matter with my brother.
There's also something called bait and switch.
My brother
Which
is not
is probably
necessarily the.
illegal.
My brother is, well, he's not necessarily.
Also,
the
I'm
most-
covered in blood, and that can be freshened.
I wouldn't recommend that.
I don't want to do it either.
Allow me to address the situation. I believe we can work on something. I believe it's called lease with option to buy. I think we can work something out.
Yeah, that would be good. Why don't
Yes. Why don't I take it? This is exactly why you need a major domo.
Okay.
Um.
If I may.
Yeah.
Can I roll for a moment of clarity?
Yes.
Whether or not Thunuk's going to realize something that he probably shouldn't realize.
Okay.
But it seems like very a matter of fact stuff.
Okay.
So what would you like for me to roll for odds of this sort of matter of fact moment of clarity? That nobody's
Wisdom.
mentioning?
That says wisdom. If nothing, if that doesn't say wisdom, I don't know what does.
Okay. 16. Really?
I shall grant you a moment of clarity.
We didn't sign anything like a contract, and we didn't get any receipts. Doesn't that mean it's a gift?
And wow. Steven takes a step back. And he gives a second, he he looks at Thunuk and he looks you up and down and he goes,
Covered in glitter, basically.
and he's just,
Muck.
Master Gentletrunk, I do believe you have solved our problem.
Okay.
I shall go speak to my brother at once. And he takes his leave.
You're ungrounded, Thunuk.
I was grounded?
Yes, for bringing the Warforged and letting the Potato Scouts wander into the woods filled with gnolls and werewolves.
I didn't let them do that. And he's my friend.
You were grounded and now you're not.
Okay. That's good, I guess.
Drenmai, give me a perception check, please.
5.
With advantage because it involves shiny things.
Okay.
4.
No, 12.
12. You notice, you do notice a shiny thing in that locker. And
I'm gonna go to it.
and it looks like it would fit a little gem that looks like it would fit in your lantern.
Is it my locker? Or is it one of their lockers?
In your locker. In the
Okay.
Good.
horse person locker. Like
I'm gonna go right into
like
the
as you
Oh, no, you are
as you
not.
pulled the bag out, apparently something fell out of the bag. You
Oh,
didn't notice it.
that's an immediate grab.
And it looks like it would fit perfectly into your lantern.
Can I investigate it?
You can try.
I'd like to see. What's my investigation? Frick yeah. 18.
18. It looks like it would fit directly into your lantern. You're not sure. It is a deep purple.
Goes in.
Chunk. There is an enormous flash of light that fills the entire headquarters.
Everyone, blink, blink,
And
blink.
that is where we will end our game this evening. So, for the folks who joined us and did not say ugly things in chat, thank you very much for joining us. To our very first bot, see ya, buddy. Bye. And we're going to be back momentarily with some table talk, which I'm sure will not last too long because after all the talk of this food, I'm still starving.
Yeah.
I
I want ice cream again.
want a
Why do you
burrito.
think I eat like during the game?
Because I look like a fucking goblin when I eat, and I don't want to.
A goblin
it's bad.
goblin. That's a goblin goblin. So yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back post haste. Thank you very much for joining us. If you feel the need to run, we understand. We'll be talking all sorts of nerd stuff, and yeah, that's about all I got for the moment. So, well, Burb.
Burp.
Burp, 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 burp.
Hey, we're back with table talk.
Oh my god, the shortest break ever.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I wasn't ready.
There's a break.
There was a break.
There was a-
If it was, we broke it. So okay, favorite moments. Starting with Mr. Roz.
I quite enjoyed the unicorn.
That was good.
That was gonna be mine too.
Cool.
Luck of the die.
Oh, unicorn.
Okay, well then we will move. You know, let's go in an anti-clockwise motion
Dear.
to a Valander, to a blind cleric.
To a Valander. Well,
There are other Verlanders here with us right now.
all around us.
Crap.
We're each surrounded by Valanders.
The real treasure was the Valander that was in you all along.
Inside. You too can be Valander.
Verlanders and Faerun are basically midichlorians.
Oh God, don't say that. This is a hard one. Skill challenge was great. I liked the cooking skill challenge. I always like it when we do those sorts of things because of just the fuckery that
Mm-hmm.
evolves out of them is always very, very good.
Master Goat.
Oh, the very conversation that took place while dragging a dead body.
That was fun.
I just started dragging the dead body, stopped, matter of fact conversation, dragging a dead body.
Oh, that was
Stop.
That was very fun. I like that. Dragon.
I'm trying to think. Because initially it was the unicorn. Because it's like, yeah, okay, random thing happens. We're walking along. We just had spicy food, and I have a unicorn summoned next to me.
It sounds like the perfect day, really.
I think also, second would be finding a granola bar in the backpack.
Oh,
This Malgamesh
That
slightly
was
brick
nasty.
form is gross
I don't like it.
and
It's like
disgusting.
Satan's Cliff Bar.
Exactly.
That bag.
Like, what else collected on this sticky thing?
It's like there was an inside joke about video games about how like video game characters always pick up and eat food from the ground and the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of them was like, "Dude, stop doing that. We're tired of taking you to the hospital. Get your stomach pumped. Stop eating trash pork."
Nice. That
Pretty much.
I think that the finding Thunix protein bar was one of my favorites, but I think the real favorite was the moment of clarity.
That was
It was
brilliant.
completely unexpected,
Brilliance.
and the argument I love it. There's I love
I
it.
had to ask if I could do that because I just didn't understand why no one else and no one else with more of a shifty nature than Thunuk was saying anything.
Well, I did go with the bait and switch angle. I was
Yeah.
basically saying like what you're doing is not legal. You can't just all of a sudden start charging us money when that wasn't the agreement. So,
I think
but I
think
liked what you said.
I think Eno was able to plant the seed,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
And then Thunuk gave the full justification, gave the argument.
Hugon's not smart enough to pull that
So
off.
so Eno gave the seed of doubt. Thunuk watered it.
Yeah.
If we're gonna stay on
Hugon's a
brand
leg
with this.
breaker. He doesn't
and doubt.
he doesn't do contracts.
I'd also say so. The whole thing with the getting a chance to do, because I always like it when we get a chance to do a wild magic surge,
Mhm.
because it's so random and there's so much fun stuff on that table. But that was completely like I was not expecting breakfast to be cooked. I was not expecting the spicy stuff. I was not expecting Dren to completely fail Nat 1 the Constitution check, which always leads, which you guys should know by now. A critical fail on a food Constitution check is always going to result in something awful. Fever dreams, wild magic surges, and then the fact that you got it on like your first roll, that we got a wild magic surge was just fun. Super fun. And I
Always gotta love wild magic surges.
got to
Is
tell
that
you
our
what.
first official Wild Magic Surge?
Second.
I think
No,
I
second.
was
No,
it
it
the
is-
second?
Because the sparkle fart was not wild magic.
Well,
That
it
was designed.
It stems from it.
it
But
stems from it,
This
but
is true.
it was the wild magic surge on that was the necrotic damage that she inflicted on everyone
That's what it was.
when she was
And
trying.
the temporary hit points she got as a result.
Yes.
So
when Dren became the tank.
I was the world's smallest tank.
And I got to say, this is a fun ass book because it's so easy to take stuff. I started reading it yesterday. I was like, there's got to be stuff we got, and that's why I was like, you know what, we just got to take some of these things.
I think it's a testament to the amount of like savviness and the ability of the creators to. This can literally just be dropped in.
Mm-hmm.
What do most
Oh, yeah.
adventuring groups have? An inner hierarchy. What do most adventuring groups also have? A place that they call home.
Mm-hmm.
What do they also have? Specializations and things that they do or things that they like to do, whether RP or mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
and just go blat and just drop everything
Yeah.
and have everything fit perfectly. Like a 1-to-1 match of exactly what the game already has at every table,
Mm-hmm.
and you plopped a very fun, very interesting book on top of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's I've only gotten a little ways in, but it's a lot of fun to read so far. I got to learn about unicorns today. That's always a plus.
Yay, unicorns.
Yeah,
There
unicorns.
Additional items for different classes here.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. I haven't gotten that far in the
Play
book.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten that far in the book yet. I'm looking forward to getting deep into that book.
My favorite thing so far, because I play cleric right now, so I looked some stuff up. Relationship with your deity. You were raised religious, but you only really go to church on high holidays. This is a cleric we're talking about.
It's a creaster.
But yeah,
it's what the Catholics call creasters. They only go to church on Christmas and Easter. Yeah, there's some. I haven't even gotten deep into that yet, and Clues was showing us some of the things on the DM screen, which is yes, scary butter knife. Yes, it is. That is exactly what we're saying. That is, yeah, we are in full agreement here. It's my favorite so far that Clues has shared with us is the random number generator.
Okay,
Between 2 and 30 is pretty great.
let's everyone do their D10 rolls, 2 of them. We'll find
Okay.
out your bee stinger names.
All right,
Or what?
bee
Oh,
stinger
God.
names. Okay, so I'm
What's
gonna,
your bee stinger child name is?
9
my dice.
Okay,
and 10.
Is it a D100 or a D10?
just 2 D10 rolls.
All right.
So, Brian,
Mhm.
yours is Ilby Folt Bill Stinger.
It'll be full.
Ilby Folt,
I got a 10 and an 8.
10 and an 8. So you're Pomfidens Bee Stinger.
I got a 10 and a 6.
Okay, so you're slightly related to both Hugon and myself because you're Ponthi Yabbit Bee Stinger. Because mine was Dog Yabbit,
I have a 5 and a 3.
5 and a 3. Horphalex Bee Stinger.
Why don't I get a
How do you
cool
spell
name? You got
Olby?
Horphalex.
That sounds like
Where's
How do you
like a
spell
food
this?
that a
Olby.
cat makes.
What was mine again? It was Olby.
Ilby ILL or wait ILBI
B-I.
Folt, right? Yeah, PHOLT.
P-H-O-L-T.
Yeah, Bee Stinger.
Okay.
Chaos
Ilbiful.
Quadrupod? Is that?
I don't know. Whatever could it be?
There is a lot of stuff.
And
I'm just tweeting at Kate right now. Saying what
Did
my
you
name
spell
is.
my Bee Stinger name?
Yeah. I am Ilby Bee
Just
Stinger.
acquired a new child. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it's definitely a very, very fun book. It's just IB Bee Stinger. Yeah. The L is silent. I love it. I love it. Yes, the L is silent. Yes. Oh my god.
Terrible.
Oh my god. There's just so much fun stuff. So, yes, congratulations to Penny Arcade for putting out this excellent, excellent book and achieving what I'm sure is a childhood dream that most of us didn't know we even had.
And Jeff Nomad made it.
oh, did he?
He has his own status. Drunk.
That's
Jeff Nomad.
That's great.
Jeff Nomad. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, any other pieces of business? Late to the Game. What's going on with Late to the Game this week?
Currently playing Valiant Hearts. Finished chapter 1 last week.
How do you
It's a-
think so far? Good.
It's enjoyable. It's way more enjoyable than a story-driven game about World War One should be.
Hmm.
It's
High
it's got-
praise.
it's got a lot of little mini games in it,
Aw,
set to period music.
fascinating.
So like when this is one song that people
The can.
driving a taxi cab through Paris, dodging traffic, and the traffic is in the pattern of the music.
It's a
Huh.
can.
The can. Yeah.
Yeah, can.
Can you do the can?
Can you do the can?
I always think it's a chorus line.
It's in a chorus line, I think. But yeah, I've seen the chorus line. I was a theater nerd in high school. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. Every so often you get a little alert that says, "Here's new info for you," and it's info about World War One and details about things that happened in World War One, and you're reminded that, all right, this is based on some horrific stuff, and then it's back to puzzles, platforming, and petting puppies.
Oh,
Yeah.
this sounds like an ideal game.
Like every sardonic gear in my brain is like turning and being like, I wonder if they've got a gang of gangrene avoidments. Like a mini game, like don't get gangrene from the trench.
There is a mini game where I treated gangrene.
Fantastic.
Any announcements from the Blind Cleric?
I am getting into Kill Team, which I'm sure a lot of people in the PA crew have watched Jerry and Eric play on Tuesdays after Acquisitions Intoxicated. So contingent on, like, it wouldn't be for another month probably because the models have to arrive from Europe.
Really?
Because eBay.
Oh,
Because I like Games Workshop's products, but they're expensive as fuck. And,
Yeah.
I don't like spending.
Mr. Roz.
Well, I finished playing The Secret of Monkey Island today. It was really fun. And last night, I got the last achievement that I needed to get all the achievements in Skyrim.
Well done.
So
I know you've been working on that.
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I had to go on a crime spree.
What was the
I always-
last achievement?
That was the master criminal achievement. I basically just went to each hold and killed a guard in front of another guard and ran away.
Ah,
So it's
flee!
yeah, it's fun. But so now I've got to get all the mods and do a modding run.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah,
And watch your game explode
yeah,
many times over.
and I'll probably give up after trying it a few times, but we'll see.
One of my friends, I explained this story to Ross last week, recently installed a whole bunch of new mods on his like already 60 or 70 gigabytes worth of mods on his Skyrim
Jesus.
game, and utterly ruined his game. And so he spent like all of last Saturday installing, uninstalling, installing, uninstalling, installing, uninstalling, just to see if he could get it to work. So he messed up. Yeah,
Eh,
he
you,
messed
done,
up.
you done fucked up, kid.
He did, and I think that he regrets it. I hope.
Miss Clues, any announcements? Anything coming
I've
from
s-
Draken Dice?
Yeah, I started working on all of the goodies for Unplugged, so that's
Ooh.
fun. Like a lot of goodies
We are less than 6 months away.
are. I just picked up some Pride dice for Sly TQ to do her giveaway to. I think it was profiting the Trevor Project.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she showed those, and those were given away. So I guess I can't really promote that too much because it's already happened.
See if the people who received them might like to send you a picture or two with look at the dice I got.
Oh yeah, apparently they want a whole bunch of stuff. So once I get that, I haven't even shipped them out yet. It just happened yesterday.
Oh,
Ah. Actually, I tagged you in a tweet, or tagged Draken in a tweet, where there was a woman, I forget where she said she was, but she was at a game store, and the guy there refused to sell her a DM screen and D20 dice because he thought that girls don't play D&D and that she wouldn't really know what to do with it, so she should stick to D6 games.
This is why I don't go to hobby stores.
Yeah,
I don't like being arrested.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times oh, it's so cute. I'd be like, you have no idea.
Well, what was funny
Would you
was
like
that
me to pull you across this counter and shove every one of my fans?
what was funny. I just imagine that scene
Strangle
from
you with your own
Inglorious Bastards, where the one guy, the one German that was going around killing the Nazis, like just sticks his hand in the one guy's
Just like-
mouth.
You silence.
Um,
Silence
what was
now.
funny is that she name dropped Satine Phoenix, Anna
I
Prosser.
talked to her about that.
Yes, and who and Kate, and they're like,
know
"Those,"
exactly
and
what
she's
you're
like,
talking about.
"Those aren't real people. You're making that up." It's like, I don't.
Can't
Dude,
work in a
for
game store.
For being such a
Not those
gatekeeper,
people.
yeah, it's like for being such a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
I don't think you're as cool as you think you are because you don't know who they are, and these are not uncommon names.
Mm.
So
Just I talked with Kate because I was just in the office and everyone's always there.
mhm.
And I was talking with Kate, and she had to deal with a whole bunch of stuff after she was doing the thing down there for drawing a blank, the convention they just did.
D&D Live.
Descent.
Yeah,
Descent
Descent.
to
There we
Avernus.
go.
Yeah.
And she had apparently deal with a whole bunch of people that were similar things, like, oh, you don't know what you're be like. I work for fucking
It's
WotC.
like,
Are you
she
kidding me?
fucking works. She like
at this thing that had where she was.
No, not at that, but
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was. I'd have to clarify, but yeah, it's like,
See, this is how people get their teeth pulled out with pliers.
yeah, I
you,
guess
you wait
like,
for the pliers because this
it's
is
some, like,
It's
you
hard
know,
to get a hold of the
older
enamel. It's
gamer.
smooth.
And being a female gamer growing up, I've always had to deal with, especially like in video games, oh, you must be a 13-year-old boy. Like, no, damn it, this is what I sound like.
You assholes.
Ugh.
yeah.
Well, fortunately, they die eventually.
Oh man. So listen, if you ever are here, if you're the one saying this, just know you're wrong, and all of
Don't
us
say
would
that stuff.
all of us would really like to meet you, but I think very especially
I don't.
Cleric and I would very much like to meet you in
No.
person.
My fist would like to meet you.
I don't
Yes,
like.
yes.
I don't want to go to prison.
You can't play D&D. I will hit you with my Dungeon Master's Guide.
Why not? No. There's got to be a thicker one than that. What's the thickest
Monster
one?
Manual.
Monster Manual.
Monster.
Yeah, do that one. That one's gonna. Yeah.
Snack
Um,
with the monster.
So
Glue them cover to cover to cover to cover.
weld
There
them.
was that,
And
No,
like,
no.
so like you've got, like, a
Hard
triple-
get them all bound into one volume.
actually, there was that one bookbinding in Minnesota that was.
You're right.
Yeah, so you could get the first 3 books together, and very nice. It's very nice. It's hardcover and leather bound, which probably, you know.
The old first edition. I don't know if I've got it down on my shelf. So the old first edition Pathfinder
Mhm.
core rulebook had the entire first rulebook and the Dungeon Master's Guide in the same book.
Mm,
So it's literally like almost 2 inches thick,
nice.
and it's just like, ah,
Tome.
it's a tome, a
Um,
weighty tome.
Yeah, I think the only announcement I have is that I think I might have said last week, one of the books I just narrated is available in the audio book is not available yet, but if you just want to get a cool fantasy book, it's called Nightmare Arcanist by Shami Stovall. That's now available through Amazon. I think it's good. I read it several times. But no, it's definitely a worthwhile book. It's part of a larger series called the Frith Chronicles. She's a real talented writer, so I would definitely recommend picking that up. I make no money by recommending it, so it's I'm just tell you, there's plenty of books I've narrated that I would not recommend. I'm just kidding.
Narrator,
So.
He is not kidding.
But yeah, I'd say definitely pick that up. And when the audio book becomes available, I will let people know, and I can probably even give out a promo code for that. So we'll see about that. So, all right. Well, hey, we're gonna be back, same bad time, same bad channel next week. As to the exact composition of our team, it's to be determined.
By the way, that guy got fired. I just saw the update tweet.
Oh,
Yeah, that guy
Oh.
did get fired.
that's a
Oh.
shame.
Darn. This is
Darn.
my sad face.
Well, now
Now
he can go play the victim card because he's a straight white
Probably
male
already
that's
has.
upset that, oh God, I'm being victimized because I'm not allowed to gatekeep my hobby anymore.
Well, we don't want you.
It's like, bitch, you weren't even. It's like, it's like,
you
dude,
hurt yourself.
it's like, dude, you weren't even standing at the right door. Who's the Teen Phoenix?
This is the latrine, and that's what you've been guarding.
Anyway, so yeah, okay, everyone, we will be back next week. Everyone, be cool to each other, and if you see someone not being cool, rip their teeth out. No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
We
Don't do
don't
that.
advise
Don't do that.
We don't do that.
But all right, cool. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Lego.
Bye.